I'm sure most of you have been asked the question, what do you want to be when you grow up? And I'm sure half of you have replied with hot and famous, of course, but later realizing that maybe the world isn't ready for your hotness and that maybe you should reconsider something else. What's worse is that you've probably been asked that very question as early as when you were maybe 5 years old. I remember being 5 and being asked that, and when you were that age, let's be honest, you were probably only exposed to a select few jobs. A police officer, a firefighter, an astronaut, a doctor, a princess. I wanted to be a princess, but I figured the world wasn't ready for that, so I said I wanted to be a teacher. As a kid, I thought teachers were an elite level of humans who possessed infinite knowledge. They just know everything there is to know. I wanted their intelligence. I respected them, and I still do. Well, most anyway. Some do an amazing job at it, while others like to rely on reading mundane overhead projector notes verbatim and having weekly quizzes pertaining to those notes, and you question if there even is an influential teacher present, because what you're actually doing is just regurgitating data based on memory and not actually learning the practicality of the information you're being exposed to. But yeah, I wanted to be a teacher. But looking back, I think it was only because I didn't know there were thousands of other options that would pique my interest. And I think that's the issue of why a lot of us are stuck wondering what we want to do, and feel the pressures of possibly not being able to contribute to the society and the world. For a lot of you, your parents might have been a driving factor as to what you've chosen or will choose to be. While some may be the epitome of strict parenting where they try to mold what they want you to become since day one, Asian parents, I'm looking at you, most are generally content with what you do in life, as long as you don't end up being a bum and amounting to nothing despite the privileges and opportunities available to you. And I can vouch for that. See, both of my parents were born and raised in the third world country of Philippines. They both grew up with 8 or so brothers and sisters, so you can assume wealth and luxury weren't aspects of their lives. But once they were adults, my parents knew they had to leave the country in search of a better life for themselves and their future children. I've mentioned before that I lived in Saudi Arabia for a few years, but that was just a stepping stone for moving to Canada. Actually, my parents were deciding between Canada and Australia, and they chose the former. Can you imagine an Aussie Domics? Here's my attempt at offending the Australian accent. Crikey, the bum! A bloody good thing I reckon, mate! Sorry. But yeah, we moved to Canada. And being able to experience the immigration process with them, in retrospect, I can appreciate their efforts for seeking a better lifestyle. And I think a lot of second and third generation kids are just unaware of how good we have it. Our parents literally left the homeland of family and friends, left a lifestyle that they grew up with, to go to another land where they had to start over. A new and different land where they weren't necessarily familiar with the language and culture, but are willing to adapt for a better life for their children. My parents probably had less than half of the privileges I had growing up. As an adult now, I understood why my parents were so strict towards my sisters and I to focus on our studies, because there are way more career opportunities here than there were back in the homeland. It was their way of telling us that if we worked hard enough, we could be successful and live comfortably. Not necessarily become rich, but not have to face the struggles of potential poverty as it was back home. So I understood my parents' concerns when I came home with a bad grade on a test, and they were probably like, shit, did we come all the way here for nothing? A little harsh and exaggerated, but I wouldn't blame them if they actually thought that. A little self-awareness for y'all who think your parents don't love ya. I've mentioned before how my parents kind of discouraged my ambition to become an artist, and how we met halfway when they let me study architecture. It seemed unfair at the time, yes, but I understood their perspective and preconceived notion of the starving artist. As excited as I was to design structures, my passion for the field diminished over time, but my fear of disappointing my parents was greater than that. And so I went through my 4-year bachelor's program, graduated, got my degree, and then did jack shit with it. After a while, I realized I needed to find another option. I felt that my parents would understand if I chose an alternative if I really didn't enjoy what I was doing. I started Domics as a webcomic series during my 3rd year of university and used it as an outlet for the stress I had from school. Once I graduated, I postponed getting an architecture career to pursue being an animator on YouTube. I'll admit the first couple of paychecks were pretty bad and was less than what I earned with my part-time job, which I quit in order to focus on my videos. I had architecture as a plan B even though I studied it for 4 years. My parents were a little concerned with what I was doing since being a YouTuber didn't sound like a normal job to them, and even for some of you watching. Apparently I don't have a real job, so I guess I've just been feeding myself and paying the bills with Monopoly money. On the bright side, at least your mother accepts it as payment. But I was fortunate enough that my parents remained patient with me because I assured them that I'd become successful as long as they gave me time. And they did. After my channel grew a bit, I showed them my earnings and they were like, yeah, okay, you can do what you want. Becoming a YouTuber opened my eyes towards what people can actually do for a living. While traditional jobs still exist, new and unique jobs have flourished with the advances in technology and worldwide network. Tools and information are much more accessible now and allow us to achieve things on our own that may have been more difficult a decade ago. People ask me what school I went to or where I went to learn animation, but the truth is, I'm self-taught. I mean, I've been drawing and keeping my artistic passion intact my whole life, but specifically learning animation was an independent effort. I use Adobe Flash, I know it's Animate now, for my animations, and so I looked up tutorials on how to use the software. Combined with the knowledge I got from friends who were already more experienced than I, animating became easier the more I did it. If you look back and compare the quality of my first few videos to my current, you can tell that there's been improvement, or at least I'd like to believe so. Anyway, my point is that it's okay to not know what you want to be when you grow up. And if you're already an adult, it's still okay to be unsure, as long as you have the drive to do something. Anything. I wasn't even sure what I wanted to do for a living until I was already doing it. I did consider being an animator as an adolescent because of all the cartoons and anime that I watched. But I would have never guessed I'd end up here, being a full-time YouTuber. Despite having studied something completely different from animation, I probably wouldn't go back and tell my 5-year-old self to change my history. Despite all the struggles, I think it was necessary to make me who I am today. A bloody wanker. Actually, as a kid, what I really wanted to be when I grew up was become a Super Saiyan, which you can't do unless you're a normal Saiyan first, which you can't really work towards and can only be passed down by bloodline. Aww. But at least I can enjoy watching the sequel series of my childhood anime, Dragon Ball Super. And you can as well. Ad-free, professionally subbed, and in full HD if you head over to crunchyroll.com/Domics, link in the description, and trying a premium membership for 30 days. You'll be able to find tons of other anime, manga, and drama titles as well, if overpowered humans and aliens pummeling each other ain't your thing. I hear Yuri on Ice is getting epic, so maybe I'll give that a shot. Again, that's crunchyroll.com/Domics. Link below. Enjoy! I frequently insert the fact that I went to architecture school pretty often in my videos, to the point that it's probably boastful to some of you. But I haven't exactly shared a focused perspective on the things I've learned and retained during my 4-year struggle towards an undergraduate bachelor's degree in architectural science. You're doing it again. Doing what? You didn't have to specify that whole last part. It feels like you're boasting again. Oh, yeah, well, you know, it's more like filler words to make it feel like the video is longer and has more content than it actually does. Kinda like trying to reach the word quota in an essay, you know? Oh, I get it. So it's like trying to reach the 8-minute mark in a YouTube video so it can qualify for mid-roll ads. Oh, no. It's not like that. It is that. He's right, I boast a lot about having graduated university, but really, I don't have much to show for it. This degree doesn't mean anything. I don't even know where it is. It's somewhere at my parents' house. It neither represents my accumulated knowledge nor my passion for architecture. It merely serves as a reminder of how many years I can endure hating myself. True, it has been almost 10 years since I graduated, so it's natural that I forgot a lot of what I learned, but even at the year of, I didn't really have confidence with my knowledge in pursuing the field. When I chose to full commit to YouTube and content creation, I naively thought to myself, if I totally bomb this and I make like 10 cents a month, at least I have architecture to fall back on. But really, it was more like, please let this work. I don't want to do architecture. I hate it. I want to make dumb animations, please. Architecture wasn't really plan B. It was more like plan L. So when I say I truly appreciate your support of my work and allowing me to self-sustain from my videos, I really mean it. Thank you all. That's really awesome, Dom. Thanks. So, how much did you retain from architecture school? Oh, let's see, 1, 2, 3... Well, I cried at least 17 times. I remember one of the first lectures we had, our prof shat on all of us for not knowing what this structural element is properly called. Anyone know what that is? right there in the middle of the room. What is that called? Yes.
A post?
Nope.
A pillar?
Wrong. A beam? A vertical beam? No. One more try or I feed my shoe to one of you. A structural vertical beam? A column. It's called a column. How do you guys not know this? You're in first year. God. So, for the rest of my life, due to being ridiculed, I will know to call this a column. Boy, I'm sure glad my tuition paid for someone to make fun of me for going into a program to learn about things I wasn't knowledgeable about. The biggest lesson I've learned in what makes a good building design is form follows function. The nature of architecture is to design based on the human experience and how people interact with the space. The overall shape of the building should be directly corresponding to the intended function or purpose of the spaces within it. If you design a building shaped like an origami paper crane and presented it to a professor for a critique, they will calmly tell you it is garbage and then spit on your grave because you are now dead to them. Even though seeing a paper crane building might seem cool and Instagrammable, when you think about it, it likely fails as a building. You've got awkward corners everywhere, making awkward rooms for people to fit into, which means a bunch of wasted space and wasted construction materials and costs. And what is even going on up here? Is it just a tall, empty space, or are there awkwardly shaped single rooms that shrink every story until you get to the sniper tower? How do you even get up there? Standard elevators don't move diagonally, and stairs aren't gonna fit nicely without the engineers wanting to put a bounty on your head for this complicated design. Simply put, if it's annoying to build, it's probably a bad design. While a paper crane may be used as inspiration for a design, there is much more to architecture than just cool visual concepts. There is this museum in Toronto called the Royal Ontario Museum, the ROM, and all of my professors, collectively and unanimously, shit on the ROM every chance they get. It looks like this, and you might be thinking, oh, it's kinda cool, right? It's got some very unnatural shapes, and it's interesting how it superimposes on the surrounding structures to elaborate the distinction between the old and the new. It stands out. Very touristy. But that's all it did. Stood out. Once you go through architecture school, you never look at buildings the same way ever again. You know how much my profs hated the ROM? They took us on a field trip to the ROM to shit on its design during the tour. Wow, look at all these awkward corners. Wow, look at all this wasted space. Wow, look at this useless hallway that leads to a dead end. Wow, wow, wow. They were brutal, but they were right. Some people might feel like square and rectilinearly designed buildings are basic and boring, but really it's those kinds of spaces that we usually feel the most comfortable in. What the hell are you gonna do with a spherical room? Where does your door go? How are you gonna arrange your furniture to fit without having to customize them? Are you gonna have curved glass windows? Again, the engineers and construction workers will have your head on a pike. Remember, form follows function. You don't think of how a building will look and then somehow force cram the necessary rooms inside to fit. You keep in mind your overall space constrictions, of course, but you have to design from the inside, and eventually the outside will take its form. And finding the optimal arrangements in correspondence to interesting forms is what sets aside the good architects from the paper crane designers. Some other bits of things I learned. We never called these blueprints, they're just called architectural designs or drawings made up of plans, the top views of the spaces, sections, views of the spaces as if you cut through it, and elevations, the side views. Always include standard scales when showing drawings. 1 to 73 is not typically a scale people understand. This part of the roof of a building is called a parapet, and it was really annoying to draw in cross-section. Either you drew your drawings on a presentation board by hand, or you did it on a computer and spent $90 to print it. Starving artists and starving architecture students get along. Avoid using glue gun for your models. It doesn't dry nicely and sometimes leaves those spiderweb glue bits. As I've mentioned before, keep the engineers in mind. They have to make your design stand. If you think a 20 by 20 meter room can hold up without any columns, enjoy having your ceilings collapse. Exterior walls are much thicker than you think because of insulation. Flooring is much thicker than you think because of HVAC. East and west facing windows give harsh lighting because of sun pathing, which can slightly be mitigated with overhangs, but north and south facing windows give diffused and more comfortable lighting. Always account for accessibility in designs. Ramps need a slope of about 1 to 12. Symmetry is cursed. You don't really need double staircases that both lead to the same location. I feel like people really only use these for prom photos. And finally, or at least this is all I can think of right now, all exit doors should open outwards, or you've indirectly killed someone in the future via getting trampled. Now, here's the part of the video where I usually try to look at the bright side of things and realize the true lessons I've learned because the hardships were necessary for me to grow as a person and end on a good note, but I hated architecture school and I still blame it for my insomnia. So the other week I watched Nia DaCosta's Candyman, which is a horror movie based on the legend of, well, Candyman. Don't worry, I won't be spoiling anything from the movie, but the premise of the legend is that Candyman is this ethereal being with a bloody hook for a hand, and I think sometimes he smells like honey. And if you say his name 5 times in front of a mirror, he'll appear from it and murder you horribly with his hooked hand. Now I've looked around a bit, did a little Google search for the rules of how exactly you're supposed to summon him, and I don't think I've ever seen them mention specifically that you have to say it 5 times in a row. And if you don't have to, then is there some sort of a cooldown? Like in between each time you say Candyman? Like what if I said it twice, then took a nap, took my dog out for a walk, ordered some food, summoned another demon in a different session, and then came back to say it 3 more times? Would he still appear and shank me before my food arrives? What if it was like 10 years in between names? Like you're having a sleepover with your elementary school homies, but you chicken out after the 4th Candyman, and then years later, one night when you're about to brush your teeth, and your homies call you up for a sleepover reunion, and you're like, as long as we don't do Candyman again, does that count?
You're mine now.
Oh my god, Candyman, is that you? Wait, hang on. I didn't say it 5 times.
Nope, it says here, Toronto, Canada, Dominic Punja. How do you say your last name?
Panganiban?
Yeah, July 24th, 2001. I got you tallied down 4 times, then you left me hanging, so I just put a little note to remember. You did say the next day, though you weren't in front of a mirror, so I've been chilling.
No, I would never do these sort of things to test them myself, or even with other people. I'm Filipino, so I grew up learning all sorts of scary folklore and superstitions in the Philippines. And also, apparently my uncle has the 3rd eye and can see spirits, and told my sisters and I about all the weird stuff he's seen and experienced back in the homeland. And actually, even here in Canada, one time at a house we used to live in, the rest of us were out, and my uncle, who also lived with us, was home alone. He was in the kitchen, probably washing dishes or something, and then briefly heard some cries coming from the basement. He said it kind of sounded like a baby. He mentioned it to my mom later and asked if the neighbors had any babies, to which she replied, no, not to her knowledge. And even if they did, we lived in a detached house, so you wouldn't really have been able to hear a baby cry from inside of another house and hear it from the basement first before a ground level window. She told him not to tell the kids because it would obviously freak us out, but we found out anyway years later after we moved out, and I believe he heard what he heard. Dude, I just can't. I can't with the supernatural. You just can't. You literally cannot. I also grew up with a lot of kids who were all curious about the whole Bloody Mary ritual, similar to Candyman, because when you're bored as a kid before cell phones and the internet were around, you just gotta summon some demons, nah mean? But I was a little bitch. Let me tell you something, never feel ashamed for being scared of danger, okay? Fear is a survival mechanism. Why do you think COVID's still around? Yeah, if you're watching this in 2025, it took us this long. Anyway, don't succumb to peer pressure, okay? If they go,
Ooh, what's the matter? Are you scared?
yeah, is that not good enough of a reason? Let's say you do the thing, okay? Your little summoning ritual stupid thing. He either doesn't appear and you gain nothing, or he does appear and then you're dead and you've still gained nothing. What are you gonna say to them? Oh, hi, I didn't think it would actually work. Well, shoot, man, I made the trip here. I have to kill you. I have to. You're stupid. And what am I gonna say at your funeral? Yeah, I told him so. He did tell me so. Oh, what the fuck? I've never really had to worry about exercising as a kid. Obviously, with less responsibilities, we as kids had more time for leisure activities. I wasn't much of a jock, but I did enjoy being active. It wasn't until university that I realized I needed to actually schedule a time apart from my daily schedule to be physically active. It got even worse after university when I decided to do YouTube full time, which meant I was sitting down for most of the day animating and drawing, and when I wasn't doing that, I was sitting down and playing video games, and when I wasn't doing that, I was sitting down and watching anime. Eventually I realized, holy crap, I sit down a lot. I started gaining weight over time. It wasn't a drastic overnight change, but people started noticing and pointing it out. My body usually did a pretty okay job at regulating my weight and gave me signs when I was eating too much, like, yo bro, can you chill? That's like your 8th donut today. So I did my best to try to exercise. I signed up at the gym, I played DDR pretty often, and took Nala for runs and walks. Okay, let's talk about the gym for a bit. I think aside from the flock of fuckboys in the making, I find the gym to be a really magical place. It's a place where the tools, actual tools, and motivation are available for a healthier lifestyle. I'm not saying the gym is necessary to exercise. You can honestly do a lot of the things from the comfort of your home or just outside, but there's something about going to the gym and seeing other people working out that just encourages me to do the same. And if you're feeling self-conscious about your body because it's a public place and people might look and judge, you shouldn't. You can't be shamed for going to the gym to get in shape because you're out of it. That's literally why you're there. That's like making fun of someone for going to med school because they don't know enough about medicine. The jacked washboard looking ass mofos you see at the gym, they weren't always like that. Wow! Everyone has to start somewhere. It doesn't matter where you start as long as you do. But of course, to feel the magic atmosphere, I first had to get myself to the gym. In my case, and probably a lot of yours, the problem wasn't exactly starting, but maintaining. I eventually stopped going to the gym. I stopped playing DDR often. Nala resolved to running around in the backyard by herself. I started gaining weight again. Clothes started feeling tight, my jeans became uncomfortable to wear. My partner at the time said she preferred me a little chubby because it was more comfy to cuddle with, so I was like, sweet, I can just let myself go. And so I did. A few years and 15 pounds later, I meet a fan at a convention. I'm still kinda surprised every now and then when people recognize me in public since I don't show my face in my videos often. Even when I'm wearing a scarf, a hat, a hood, and headphones, some people be like, Domics? Oh shit, what up? But this was at a convention, so it made sense. Anyway, I thought this would be like most interactions I have with fans of my work, but this particular encounter stuck with me. Now, I'm gonna give him the benefit of the doubt and assume he didn't mean any offense because, for real, you guys who do come and say hello to me are so polite and respectful. I'm very grateful for that. So, at some point in the conversation, he said, "You draw yourself skinnier than you are in your animations." I wasn't sure how to react to it, so I laughed it off and agreed because, to hell, he was right. I mean, I do draw my character with a rounded face, but overall, he has a sort of slim physique. His words stuck with me because I always drew myself with whatever hair I had at the time, whether it was a little shorter, longer, red, blonde, or whatever, but I always kept my body proportions relatively consistent. I came to an understanding that I wasn't happy with my body. I still drew myself slim because that was my personal ideal size for myself. Often when we have the freedom to create representations of ourselves, whether it be a drawing, a painting, or a photograph, we tend to alter it so that it may look subjectively more attractive than we actually are. Why do you think most people only take selfies at certain angles and lighting? It was the same thing for me. I was getting older and my body's not what it used to be. I don't have the same metabolism I had as a kid, and the shit I put into my stomach actually had more consequences than before. As a disclaimer, this isn't meant to fat shame anyone. I'm not saying that since I wasn't happy with my weight, you should be as well. I'm saying that you should all come to some sort of acceptance with your own appearance, and any changes you wish to pursue should include the consideration of your health. And that's what I wish to be and remain: healthy. But sometimes you look at the bubble tea deal and it's like, I'm weak, treat yourself. But I do miss being able to run for a few minutes without my lungs imploding. I miss being able to do a baby freeze without feeling like I'm suffocating a baby that I'm pregnant with. I miss being able to fit into my jeans and being able to bend or crouch without cutting off my circulation. Joggers are comfy and all, but that's like all I wear nowadays. I'm sure 15 pounds may not seem like a lot for some of you, but it's 15 more than what I'm happy with. And I'm done being unhappy. I've started exercising often again, trying to fix my diet and cutting my intake because honestly, I just went to the fridge and cupboard when I was bored. Like, I wasn't hungry, but I just wandered into the kitchen and just wanted to taste something, know what I mean? Why does food gotta be so freaking delicious? But hey, you don't need New Year's as an excuse to work out. Hell, you don't even need to be overweight to work out. Just find your own personal reason. Make your own goal. Do a baby freeze. So hard. If you guys were like me and needed some catching up to do on some anime, you already know what I'm gonna recommend. That's right, Crunchyroll! You can head over to crunchyroll.com/Domics and trying out a Crunchyroll Premium membership for 30 days. Got a bunch of new anime and seasons that just started, but namely, Attack on Titan Season 2. 4 years, guys. 4 years! I've been waiting. And yeah, I know, why don't you just read the manga, Dom? Because I'm an animator, okay? I have a better experience watching the animation than reading it. I'm sorry, it's just a preference. But yeah, go catch up on Season 1 if you need a refresher. I'm gonna give you guys a week, because on April 26th at 7 PM PST, I'll be doing a watch-along again with good old Jack. Now I did watch the first episode, I'm sorry, but I will contain myself and save some of the hype for the actual watch-along. I waited 4 years, I can wait another week. Once again, that's crunchyroll.com/Domics, and if you guys would like to join us next week, you can check out watchalong.club for all the info you need. Links are in the description. Enjoy, and see you next week. My shoe's falling off. Hey guys, just want to let you know that I'll be in the LA area for the next 3 weeks for VidCon and Anime Expo. And also to check out audible.com/Domics for a 30-day trial and a free audiobook. Conventions are a great way for me to meet you guys in the real world, but I do tend to meet a good chunk of you on other normal days when I decide to leave my home. It was a bit of a challenge to write this without an underlying tone of humble bragging, but I just wanted to share some of my experiences with meeting some of you. And one thing I really appreciate about meeting you guys is that most of you are well-mannered and polite. Meeting fans unexpectedly is often an interesting event for me. Whether I'm grocery shopping, eating at a restaurant, or taking a piss, I meet you guys in all sorts of places and situations. I know I don't usually show my face on this channel, but I do have an Instagram, which is where most people often go to make sure I'm actually real. Getting recognized in public outside of events was such a surprise for me. But over time I developed a sort of fan radar where I could sense when someone notices me. A lot of the time they'd know exactly who I was but be very hesitant to approach me because they didn't want to bother me while I ate ice cream or something. Like, guys, come on. I'm gonna say right now, if you see me and I don't look like I'm rushing somewhere or helping a woman give birth, just come and say hello. If you can take time from your day to watch my videos, I can take a minute to talk to you and take a picture if you'd like. Other times I'd walk by a group of people and one of them would do a double take at me and then start whispering to their friends, and all I'd hear are murmurs of, "Is that Domics?
Who the hell is Domics?
Yeah, that's definitely Domics."
No way! What's he doing here?
Oh my god! I don't get it. Who is he? That was something I never knew how to answer. Whoa, Domics, what are you doing here? I didn't expect to see you at some establishment. Well, I mean, same to you, stranger. I didn't expect to see you either. As for my reason being here, probably the same as you in taking advantage of this up to 80% off summer sale. Guys, there isn't a special YouTuber store we go to for our daily needs. I shop at the mall and supermarket just like you. This one night I was working pretty late at the office and got hungry, so I decided to head out and indulge my craving for some chicken McNuggets. I went to the drive-thru, ordered my goodies, drove up to the first window, paid for my food, went up to the second window to pick up my food, and the dude lost his shit and almost fumbled my bag when he saw me. Are you Domics? I answered truthfully, and then he asked me if he could take a photo. I always feel a little guilty allowing this kind of situation because I didn't want him getting in trouble by their boss or manager, assuming they weren't the boss or you know what, maybe he was a manager, I don't know. And on top of that, there were a few cars behind me, so I didn't want to hold up the line. He kept fumbling his phone because he was nervous and it kept freezing and we couldn't figure out the right angle for a photo, so I was getting a little anxious, but because I already agreed on taking the picture with him, I had to full commit to it. It'd be kinda lame if I just changed my mind, like, you know what bro, I'm good, see ya, thanks for the food. The woman behind me honked and yelled, "Are you f***ing kidding me?" And I'm like, dude, I think she's upset. And he rebuttals with, nah, it's cool man, don't worry about it. Okay, if you say so. I mean, he's the one who has to deal with her after, but okay. A few weeks later, I met him again at my gaming cafe, and it turns out he still has his job. Hey, thanks for the food. I'm pretty comfortable meeting fans in public now, but there are times where I prefer to be a little more covert because I simply don't want to cause a scene. And scenes have definitely been caused because some fans have been overly excited. A while ago, I took Claire to a walk-in clinic because she wasn't feeling well. As we were waiting, a fan walked out of one of the rooms and recognized me. He asked if we could take a photo, and I said, yes, of course. But then he realized he didn't have his phone with him. So he got a little bummed out. I felt bummed for him, so we were just awkwardly bummed out together for a good minute or so. Soon enough, his mom comes out from seeing the doctor, and the fan jumps up and bolted towards her. Mom, I need your phone. His mom obviously didn't understand the urgency. He told her he wanted to take a picture with me, and she asked, oh, are you friends? And I answered honestly, no, actually, we just met. And she said, oh, you sure do make friends pretty easily. I chuckled, but I think he wanted his mom to understand the weight of the situation, so he yelled, he's famous! I couldn't tell if she believed him because when you think of a famous person, you think of actors or singers, and I definitely don't have that celebrity look. I usually look like I just woke up from a long night of watching anime and playing video games. I never know what to say when people ask about my D-class celebrity status, like, oh, are you famous or something? Well, by definition, I guess so, but I don't want my statistics to determine how you treat me, so I'll often say a partial truth like, yeah, I guess a few people are aware of me. While I say that most of you have been polite to me, there have been a few interactions that left me with a sour impression, even though it may have been partially my fault for humoring them and not explicitly saying how I really felt. I guess that's what it's like to be a type 9, I'm a people pleaser. I've been trying to get better about this, and I just want to let you know that you should always try and be honest to yourself and others about how you truly feel, even if it may not lead to a desirable outcome. I was at a convention one year and Claire and I were at the video game lounge area. In the distance, Claire spotted some people playing Just Dance, so we decided to check it out and see if we could play. As we were waiting for our turn, a fan, who was sitting on the side, recognized me and came up to say hello. He expressed his admiration for my work, seemed like a normal conversation with a fan, but then he immediately segued into, could you give me a shout out in your next video? Well, I didn't normally do that. I know other YouTubers give shoutouts at the end of their videos, and while I occasionally do that for people I've collaborated with, it's not a regular thing I do just for anyone. I expressed that to him, but he insisted on the shoutout despite his lack of a proper introduction. So I asked him if he had a YouTube channel, and he said no. Oh, then what do you have? I have a Snapchat. I grew reluctant to continue the conversation, but because we really wanted to play Just Dance, I couldn't just make an excuse to leave or we'd lose our spot in line. For me, it's really difficult to tell someone to simply stop talking to me and ask them to leave my presence as if I was some egotistic king when they haven't really done anything wrong. What kind of stuff do you do on there? Who knows, I may have been presumptuous and maybe he actually has. I post memes and stuff. Okay. Well, I let him know that I'll consider it with a heavily reluctant tone in hopes that he'd take the hint. Alright, cool. And he walked away. Claire and I continued waiting for our turn, only to have the guy come back 2 minutes later and ask, "So how soon do you think you can do the shout out?" Whoa, buddy. I probably messed up by unintentionally getting his hopes up. I should have been more clear. I'm not sure. The current video I'm working on is kinda already done, so maybe the next one? No promises though. Hindsight 2020, I know I shouldn't have said that. I dug a deeper hole for myself. Alright, cool. He walked away again. But not a minute passed and he returned once more. "Hey Dom, just making sure you won't forget to do the shout out." "Okay, we're leaving. We can just play at home." If there's one thing I learned growing on YouTube, it's that you gotta stay humble. It's guaranteed that aspects of your life will change when you grow a larger following, but you have to stay level-headed and not let your ego take over. As far as I've come, I still want to be able to have a normal conversation with you guys, and I appreciate that a lot of you treat me with that respect. I look forward to meeting some of you at VidCon and Anime Expo this year. Speaking of shoutouts, I want to give one to Audible for sponsoring this video. Head over to audible.com/Domics, link below, or text the code Domics to 500 for a 30-day trial and a free audiobook. I'm excited to say that I'll be doing something new and special during VidCon this year. I'll be sitting down for an old-fashioned book club discussion with Ben and John from the Super Carlin Bros, and Phil DeFranco along with members of his vlog team to discuss the new book by Lauren Groff, Florida, available on Audible. Heard really great stuff about it and I'm excited to dive into it this weekend. The book is only about 8 hours long, so I'll definitely be able to get through it on my way to VidCon. Using my code, you can pick out any one book you'd like on Audible, which you get to keep forever by the way, but if you do decide to check out Florida, I welcome you to share your thoughts in the comments and I'll try to include some of your input in the conversation with the gang. Look forward to the book club discussion, which will be posted on the DeFranco vlog channel soon after VidCon. Enjoy! This video has been brought to you by NordVPN, the best VPN available. Head over to nordvpn.com/Domics and use the code Domics to save 77% off a 3-year plan. I'm sorry, Gigi. Alright, hello everyone. This is gonna be a different episode. It's not really a hypothetical. We just felt like talking, you know? I'm here in California right now. We're staying at Jamom's place. And it made me remember some things of like what it was like to live at home or growing up Asian, I guess. I'm here today joined by a couple friends.
Hello, I am Claire.
And I'm Elboy.
This is Jom.
I'm sure we all have no slippers in the house.
No slippers?
Sorry, no shoes.
No shoes.
No shoes, always slippers. Yes. Yeah, do you have that basket of slippers at the front door?
Yep. When people come over, we always offer slippers. There's just an abundance of slippers.
My issue with slippers is I end up walking outside a lot on accident with them on, so it defeats the purpose of having slippers. It's like, oh, I gotta get my mail, it's outside, and I don't think about it, I just walk out, and then I was like, well, now my slippers are dirty. What different are they?
Now these are outdoor slippers permanently.
Do you ever have white friends that go to bed with shoes on?
You actually knew people.
Yeah, I had friends do that. First, I was visiting his house, and he just laid down on his bed with his shoes.
Like, why though? That's
So dirty.
It's like what's the urgency that you need to have your shoes on at all times?
But it's like the opposite for them. It's like if I come into the house and I try to take my shoes off, they're like, no, just keep your shoes on, dude. And I probably feel safer that way anyways if I wear my shoes in there.
From an Asian family, we don't really do allowances. I never understood that.
I didn't either.
Like when my friends were like, yeah, I get like $100 a week. Like for doing what? You know, for existing. Like, so I asked my parents, why don't we get allowance? They didn't know what that meant. I was like, what's an allowance?
I got allowance.
Oh my god. What?
But the trade-off was I had to do all the chores in the house.
So you're just getting paid.
But my allowance was like $3 a week.
Oh.
that was my allowance.
That's child labor. That's child labor.
One of my main methods of gaining money as a kid was when I picked white hair from my parents' heads.
What?
And then they gave me money for each one I plucked out.
How much did you get?
It started off like a quarter for a hair, and then went down to like 10 cents and 5 cents, and then went down to just like a penny. And then they got older, and obviously they got more hair, and then they realized, oh, this is not a good model because I'm gonna get bald. So then they just started dyeing their hair, and they don't. Food eating etiquette, yes.
I mean, what you just learned with John's mom, right? Like,
Not my
if you eat
Yeah,
real
with food.
fast, they'll be like, "Oh, you must really like the food," so they just like dump more food on your plate, and then you're just like sitting there full.
Exactly.
Yeah. So the trick is you just eat really slow.
I learned now.
Yeah, we usually just have like a bowl of rice or whatever, and we have like all the side dishes in the middle. No one's gonna force you to like get more rice or like get more of this. If you're done, you're done.
Yeah, and Koreans like they will keep feeding you until
This
like
is-
they're tired. It's not a question like do you want more? It's like, oh, you want more, and they just
Yeah,
give it to
the
you.
do is silent in your sentences.
Just for my family, I don't know about you guys, but every time when I have a friend who invites me for like dinner, like parents are always like, "Oh, you have to bring something nice, bring this wine bottle that we've been like saving up for like the past 5 years."
Yeah,
Give it
you.
to them.
I invited you to I think it was the New Year's dinner, and then you brought, what was that, like the bird's nest?
Yeah, I don't even know what it is. Apparently, it's supposed to be really healthy.
The bird spit soup thing.
Yeah, like you gave it to my parents. The instructions were in Chinese. They're like, we don't know how to eat this. I'm like, okay, I'll ask Claire. And you're like, I don't know how to eat this either.
My
So
parents
that's
just
the
told me to
parents.
hand this over, and I did.
Yeah, your mom makes a lot of leftovers, and that's like the mindset my family grew up with. Like, we always either make too much food because they want to bring it for lunch, like to work the next day. We call it baon. I don't like wasting food. That's why we have a term for when there's like a little bit of food left and you gotta eat it clean. It's called simot.
I mean, kill it.
Yeah, kill it to the speck.
There's like a Chinese saying like every speck of rice in your bowl is like that's gonna be on your lover's face or something,
Lover's face? Why?
or your like husband's or your wife's face. Like it'll like turn into something bad.
So if you don't finish your food, your wife becomes ugly?
Yeah, like something like that. Yeah.
Because it's generally known that Filipinos have like flat-ish noses. So like when every morning, like instead of just saying like wake up, my mom would just walk into my room and just pinch the bridge of my nose. I'm like, what's happening?
I was like Captain America, super soldier serum all the time. I had a new liquid, a new pill all the time. Every morning she would like pat my legs down and stretch my legs out, try to make me as long as possible. And I'm the tallest person in my family, so.
And it worked.
Like, did you guys have to take the Chinese medicine stuff? Like, you go to like the old Chinese doctors. They have a bunch of drawers with like deer antlers and bugs, and they're like, and then you go there, you're like, I want my kid to be taller. They're like, all right, I got you. And then they're like, get all this like weird stuff. Make a drink.
A potion?
Yeah, like they'll make a potion. And
It's
it
some
tastes
liquid,
disgusting.
liquid chimera, basically.
Yeah.
glad
Oh,
I didn't
it's-
go through that either.
We call it hanyag. I think like Koreans are obsessed with medication that makes you taller.
I guess that's true, because like all the Koreans in my high school in Freedom like were super tall. I was in between two Koreans, Pak and Park. Pak and Park. Yeah, so I was like in between them, and like freaking graduation, it was just like a tall ass Korean, and then me, and then like another tall ass Korean. What about clothes?
My mom always just steals my clothing. Especially because we're like about the same height. Like, I would just go home, like, after, I don't know, university. I have, like, a month off, and I visit, go into my closet, find, like, 10 things missing, and I look over at my mom, and she's, like, wearing the exact sweater that I wanted to wear.
Does she do the thing where it's like when she's buying you a gift, she's buying it with the intent that she's gonna wear it too?
You guys have to like do tutors and stuff.
Tutor? Well, I did Kumon.
Where I grew up, pretty much every kid had a tutor every day, and it's like for every subject.
If everyone has a tutor, what's the point of going to school?
There is no point in going to school. We learn so much more.
But then all the teachers at school are like, man, you guys are so smart.
Yeah, the teacher's like, oh man, all these kids are so smart. It's like, no, we just have a lot of tutors helping.
No, I just go to school twice.
We had, like, math tests and stuff, right? This is back in China. And I think I got, like, a 96. And then my mom was visiting from Canada, and the teacher called me out and had a meeting with my mom. And she's like, so this is your daughter's grade. And then my mom looks at it. It's like a 96. And she's like, oh, this is pretty good. And she's like, nah. That's the lowest mark in our class.
That's the lowest mark.
Frick.
You get like we had like that check mark system. You get like a check mark or a check plus, check minus.
Oh,
Yeah, like that's it. And then if you get the check minus, it's like devastating. You're like, oh no, I'm doing bad.
A minus. Let me just edit that into a plus. You guys get hit?
Yes.
Yeah.
I didn't get
Only in
hit.
China, though. Oh, you're lucky.
I didn't get hit. I got hit verbally, and that was like,
I got both.
They made us write letters of apologies, like if you get sent to the principal's office.
I wonder if like principals that actually read that.
Mine definitely did because he would read it and then he would like show us our mistakes as we're writing. And I was like, oh.
So they critiqued your apologies. Like,
Yeah,
"Damn, I'm already
he's
sorry,
like, you
man.
spelled this wrong.
Take the damn apology. Holy crap.
There was this one time in high school, I was in my social studies class or something like that, and I was just sitting there. It was really boring class. And then Gabe kicks the door open, right? And my friend Gabe, he kicks the door open, and he's like, "Ma'am, I need John right now." So she looked at him like, okay. Or he's like, "What do you need him for?" And he's like, "It's an emergency." So then I walked out the door. I was like, "Dude, Gabe, what's wrong? Did something happen? What's wrong?" And he's like, "Dude, I just got you out of class. Isn't that sick?" I was like, "Oh, fuck." And then like we just left, and then we just went to go hang out to school's over. When you go to a school, you know how you have to give them your contacts, like your parents or whatever, who to call when there's an issue. And I just put my grandpa. So then, because he can't speak English.
Wow.
There was a point where my friend's mom called me in the middle of like the night. I'll call him Andrew.
Or Randy.
Or Randy. His mom called me in the middle of the night, and she was smart about this. She called me on Andy's cell phone. She took his cell phone and called me. I was like, "Hey, what's up?" And she's just crying. She's like, she would just tell me stuff like, "Oh, my son is doing bad in the school because you're the bad friend, and I don't want him to talk to you." And I'm just like, "Oh my god!" Like she's like, "Promise me you will not talk to my son anymore." And I was like, what? Like, I didn't know what to say. I've never been in this situation where a mom called me and called me a piece of shit and said that I can't hang out with somebody else. Like, Jesus Christ. I didn't know what to do. I'm pretty sure me and Randy had to hang out, like, secretly or something. I don't know.
Dude, it's like Romeo and Juliet, dude.
Randy, let down your hair. I can't, my mom bowl cut me.
I think for, like, me, like, a lot of my friends, they had a ban on relationships, especially during high school. Their parents were like, "You cannot have a boyfriend or girlfriend."
They should have just been like, "You can't see your girlfriend unless you get an A." And then you'd be like, "Okay."
Yeah, that's the better incentive.
Yeah, like, if you get an A, like, I'll drive you.
I'll pay for your date tonight. Yeah, like, I don't know if it was my first or my second girlfriend, but I remember I told my dad, and he's like, "Oh, you have a girlfriend? How many?" And I was just like,
How many?
Yeah, they were just like, date as much as you can now, because then you'll learn and you won't make stupid mistakes later when you're an adult. When I grew up, I obviously wasn't the smartest student, and my family was always worried about that. But they kind of got over it. But my grandparents never got over it. And there was this one time where I released an animation. It was Ice Cream 2 back in like 2009 or something, right? And it was the first time I ever got paid for an animation. I got $100 from stickpage.com. And back then, that was like $1 million to a kid, right? I was like, holy crap, I can make money doing this.
You can buy some new bones.
I could buy some new bones. But then my grandpa pulled me aside one night, and he's like, "Hey, John, I think it's cool that you like to draw these weird stick people, but, I don't want you taking money from the internet because that's blood money." And he's like, "You have to get a real job. You have to work with your own hands. You have to hard labor." But once my mom saw it, she was like, "Holy crap, this is what you're doing this whole time? I thought you were just dumb." It's like, go ahead, keep doing this.
Actually, what I thought was interesting is like I went to some art schools and stuff. I would always like notice like there's 9 girls for every 1 guy or something. And I remember I talked about it with my mom. She's like, "You'll notice that none of the guys are Asian." I was like, "Why?" And then she just straight up told me like, Asians never let their kids become artists, especially if they're male. And then she tells me these stories. So like parents, like they would like break their kids' crayons and stuff. Like if they found their kid drawing, they would immediately crush all their dreams as fast as they could. Yeah, like literally crush all their supplies and like stop them, and then like they give them like math problems to do or something. I don't know.
Have you guys ever been bullied for being Asian in your school, like racist kids?
Nope.
Nope. Oh, you freaking
Yeah,
all
like,
Asian
they're all
school.
Asians.
I think what was the one where it was like Chinese, Japanese, something knees.
They did that
I don't
to
know.
me, and I'm just like, what?
I'm like, I'm Filipino. In high school, I was like walking home from a friend's house. I'm just walking by this house the garage is open, and a bunch of these little like boy white kids in the garage, and then they look at me and they're like, "Go back to the railroad." I'm like, "What the? I'm not even Chinese." Like I didn't contribute to that. It took me a while to process what they meant, but I knew it was racist.
That's all you need.
Yeah, like it felt racist. Like
Yeah, I think people made fun of my accent because I used to have a Chinese accent when I first came to Canada.
yeah, me too.
But like that was about it.
Dude, don't even worry about it. I slip and I was born here, speaking English all my life.
I don't really practice Tagalog at home. So when I went to the Philippines, instead of speaking Tagalog, I just started speaking English with a Filipino accent. So I try to that's how I try to blend in. Did you get a Korean name even though you were born here?
Yeah. Well, I mean, like, it's decided by your grandparents, usually. Well, like, if you get really traditional, you go to a fortune teller and they assign you a syllable
A
for the generation of
your
males.
second syllable is.
Yeah, like, basically, like...
Wait, how do you say park in Korean accent?
It's just pack. I don't know
So
why
that's
they put
another one of
R here.
variances like pack.
Yeah. Like mine is like Lee, but there is no L in the Korean enunciation. It's just E. Like
This is random, but I forgot to mention it earlier. In the getting hit part, there was one time my mom got really mad at me and tried to throw a shoe, and then she missed and hit my brother.
So she like, you can cash that in later. You know what I didn't have as a kid? Security on the internet. That Nigerian prince still hasn't gone back to me after all these years. But hey, if you guys want a peace of mind while you're on the web, check out NordVPN. Easy and simple, best VPN out there. VPNs are a great way to protect your privacy and security online, allowing you to surf the internet anonymously with absolutely no data logging using military-grade encryption. With its thousands of servers in over 60 countries, its lightweight and user-friendly interface, you can virtually be wherever you please with NordVPN. Being in the US at this moment, it's very convenient for me to access all of my Canadian sites as if I'm still back home, and I feel safe doing it too. But it's not only for Canada. I want the internet to think I'm in Italy? Done. Head north a little bit, I'm in Sweden. Hong Kong? They've got that too. Super fast servers protect up to 6 devices at once, available on Android, iOS, Windows, and macOS. Not sure if you like it? No worries, you have 30 days to get your money back, guaranteed. Once again, that's nordvpn.com/Domics with the code Domics for 77% off a 3-year plan. That's $275 a month, my dude. Enjoy! Hello, this video's been brought to you by Audible. Amazon Prime members can now save 66% off their first 3 months by going to audible.com/Domics or text Domics to 500 500. Video games played a huge part in my upbringing. While many believe they are a waste of time, I give video games credit for helping build my character and who I am today. Some of the consoles and games I mention here are probably older than half of you watching. My very first console was the Nintendo Family Computer, aka the Famicom. If you are unfamiliar with this, you might recognize the American counterpart, the Nintendo Entertainment System, the NES. They're generally known to be the same console with a few differences. Honestly, you put red on anything and that's my bias. This console blew my mind as a kid. I had a humble selection of game cartridges, yes, they weren't even CDs yet, and half of which were niche and foreign, but if I turned on my Famicom without a game inserted, it would boot up a menu which had over 100 games. Tetris, Small B, billiards, some tank game. Was anyone else's like that? Was mine modded? I don't know, but it was awesome, and it blew my friends' minds too when I showed it to them. Not long after, I then got the Game Boy. Yes, that brick of a handheld console where I first discovered Pokemon and all its glory. I still remember that one time as a kid, I was chillin' after swimming lessons, sitting on a bench playing my Game Boy, waiting for my parents to pick me up. Another kid in my class was passing by and noticed I was playing Pokemon Red. Having the game himself, we naturally talked about how fun it is. Then he started talking about game cheats, and that's when he opened my eyes to the duplication glitch. You possess forbidden knowledge. Basically, at a certain part of the game, if you met the specific requirements, you're able to duplicate items in your inventory to a virtually infinite amount. This meant endless Master Balls, allowing you to catch any Pokemon effortlessly, endless Elixirs, allowing your Pokemon to fight forever, and endless Rare Candies, allowing you to level up your Pokemon without having to fight at all. And consequentially, it was also when I discovered that although cheats did add a fun aspect of being overpowered and being able to obliterate the Elite Four and my rival Tae using a single move, I felt a sense of emptiness and lack of achievement because my victories weren't earned through genuine effort, but through dishonest methods. The destination was the journey, and the hardships I overcame along the way is what made the end that much more satisfying. The cheats killed the game and its purpose. There was no more journey. And that lesson rippled throughout my childhood and paved my way into adulthood. Well, good thing that was already like my 4th playthrough of Red, so I didn't feel guilty too long and continued to become a Pokemon master by cheating. Oh, what's up, Abra? You gonna try to teleport out of here again? Nuh-uh, not this time. You gonna join me today. I have enough Master Balls to catch you and your brothers and sisters right now and in the next 1,000 lifetimes. So go ahead, try and teleport. I'll come back. During that time, I also had the Super Nintendo, known to contain many legendary games that still hold a place in people's hearts today. Turtles in Time, Super Mario RPG and Super Mario World, Mega Man X2, Donkey Kong Country, Earthbound, Super Metroid, and A Link to the Past. But you know what game I probably played the most? That's right, freaking Mighty Morphin Power Rangers, the Fighting Edition. Look, as cool as it was to watch people in tights save the city from monsters via martial arts, the Megazords have always been my favorite part about the shows. And this game allows you to play as them and beat the crap out of other Megazords and monsters. And to 7-year-old me, that was the bomb diggity. I looked it up recently and apparently it was pretty doo-doo and didn't do that well, but I still remember having lots of fun with it. Things don't need to be the best of its kind for you to enjoy them. Just because Captain Falcon's mid-tier doesn't mean I can't have fun kneeing people in the face and then going, yeah, you like that? Yeah, actually, I thought that was pretty cool. Good job, man. Thanks. My next console was the N64, of which I was introduced to the franchise that is still my favorite game series to this day. And yeah, you probably guessed it from that last reference. Yes, it's Super Smash Brothers, Sisters, Mothers, and Fathers. If you considered all the time I put into these games, except Brawl, I'm pretty sure I've clocked in well over a few thousand hours. Smash has such a simple concept that can appeal to all types of people. You try to beat each other up and knock your opponents off the stage so that they fall into oblivion and literally explode. Simple. But despite that, it can also be complex when taken competitively due to the numerous mechanics that aren't so obvious at face value. Complexity delivered in simplicity. In a way, that's what I strive for my work to be like. I then went through most of the Nintendo consoles that followed. I went through Sony's PlayStations 1 through 4. I kinda skipped the Microsoft line except for that used Xbox 360 I got off Kijiji a couple years ago so I could play Just Dance and try to impress Claire. But nothing really beats the bonding I've done and the friends I've made more than through PC gaming, especially those online. I like to think the circle of friends I'm in now have lasted this long because of the times we've struggled together as well as against each other in video games. Playing games together with strangers has taught me patience when working with an unfamiliar team, something you might find yourself doing often in real life. It's taught me that people I've never met before can enjoy the same things I do, despite having different backgrounds and cultures. It's opened my eyes to the actual size of the world and its population, large and diverse in a sense that games can be universal, that there are gamers everywhere, but seems small enough that people who are hundreds or thousands of miles apart can create long-lasting relationships because of a simple common interest. Here's a few more shoutouts to video games that have made great impacts in my life. The Zelda franchise for immersing me in such believable worlds full of lore and fantasy, Minecraft for giving me an outlet for my design cravings and applying them to a simulated open-world reality that virtually had limitless possibilities, League of Legends for teaching me that having skins doesn't necessarily make me a better player, and also for allowing me to befriend some of the best people I know today, because we all learn to hate ourselves together. Solidarity. Oh, and MapleStory for teaching me that people online are really lonely and hormonal. Video games are just awesome, man, and I believe we're in the biggest gaming generation. Anyone can find a game that suits their tastes. Do you like beating the crap out of other people with cool combos and special skills? Fighting games. Are you looking for something that focuses on character growth and storytelling? Role-playing games. Do you have a good sense of tempo and coordination? Rhythm games. Are you looking for something with less commitment and immediate reward? Mobile games. Unless it's a gacha game, then it's the exact opposite. Commit hours grinding those gems just so you can roll a 4-star salamander for the 6th time. Damn you, Puzzles and Dragons. Damn you. And now we've got virtual reality taking big leaps in development. Who knows what kind of video games we'll be playing in 10 years? What if we're in a game right now? Stop. With the continuous advances in technology, the communities that revolved around video games are no longer niche nor underappreciated. Game design is so much more accessible now, and indie games have proven to be some of my favorite titles. However, disregarding the game developers themselves, many people's careers today revolve around the video games themselves and the culture around it. You think that was a self-sustaining lifestyle 15 or 20 years ago? People literally play games for a living now. Honestly, if I didn't take the animation route, I probably would have become a gaming channel. Wait, what are you thinking? Nothing? Dom? Many people today may still think video games are a waste of time, and I guess if you lack self-control and prioritize them over your responsibilities, then yeah, that may be true. But the culture of video games is a great influence as to why I am who I am today, and has brought me together with people I would have never expected to meet otherwise. And I'm sure a lot of you share the same belief. Video games have helped me keep my sanity during the lows in my life, and have made the highs even more enjoyable. The video game culture is always growing, and I'm never worried about a shortage of entertainment. But what I do have a shortage of is time, and unfortunately haven't been able to game as much as I used to. However, even during my work and travels, I can still take in content through audiobooks with Audible. And now, Amazon Prime members can start their membership and save 66% on their first 3 months by going to audible.com/Domics. Valid until July 31st. That's like 3 months for the price of 1. With the Audible app, you can enjoy your audiobooks wherever and whenever. They're yours to keep for life, and you can re-listen to them even if you cancel your membership. As a member, you'll receive 3 credits every month, which you can spend on 1 audiobook and 2 Audible originals, regardless of the price. If you haven't got the time to play or watch others play video games, why not listen to some of these video game-related titles from Audible? Ready Player One, BioShock Rapture, Replay, The History of Video Games, and Super Mario, How Nintendo Conquered America. Once again, that's audible.com/Domics or text Domics to 500-500 for a 30-day trial with 3 audiobook credits, and until July 31st, Amazon Prime members can sign up and start their first 3 months at 66% off. Enjoy! I get a few compliments about my hair every now and then, and people ask where or how I get my hair cut. Well, not to toot my own horn, but I've been cutting my hair since I was like 17. Is that why you messed up the other week? Yo, spoiler, man! Damn! Alright, let me start from the beginning. Okay, so as a kid, there's like a 95% chance that your parents will decide to bestow upon you the bowl. No, not to eat from. No, you put it on your head, and then you get the bowl cut. I mean, who even invented the bowl cut?
Ah, what dost thou requesteth the present day?
Y'all know what a coconut is?
Say no more, fam.
Looking back, we all probably hated our bowl cuts, but at the time, being a kid, you really don't care too much about appearances, so it really didn't matter. Eventually, I evolved into the crew cut, which I was pretty happy with for most of my childhood. And then one day, I discovered hair gel! Yes, that oozy styling liquid that was basically glue for your hair. My discovery couldn't have worked out any better because I was really into anime at the time. Well, I still am, but during that time, I was obsessed with Dragon Ball Z, and I'm sure you're well aware of what hairstyles they had on that show. So I'd say I've lived most of my teenage life with stalagmites on my head. Eventually, my family had to move to Virginia when I was 16, as I've mentioned in past stories. And up until then, we had this family friend who used to work at a hair salon cut all of our hair. And I refused to get my hair cut by anyone else but her. So when we moved to Virginia, I couldn't just always wait until the next time we visited Canada to have my hair cut. And I expressed this very strongly to her, so before we left, she gave me a parting gift. A hairstyling razor. It was like a samurai granting his pupil a legendary sword that's been passed down through generations, so I was like, What is this? And she gave me a face like, you are ready, my child. Arigato, sensei. It took me a while to figure out what hairstyle I was happy with. You can tell by my animations that my hair kind of varies between videos depending on where the story takes place in the timeline of my life. And whenever I draw my current self in a video, I try to keep it accurate to whatever hairstyle I have at the time of animating it. After years of experimenting, cutting, trimming, deciding how long I like my fringe, sideburns, neckline, tail, blah blah blah, I settled on the style that you see on most of my avatars. And I seem to be staying true to my drawing because most fans who find me in the real world mention how I look just like my character, and I'm like, yeah, that's the point. So I've kept this hair for a while. I kept using the same razor for years. Eventually it dulled over time, but I could still cut my hair with it. A couple of months ago, I decided to get some new replacement blades because the old one got dull enough to the point where it was kind of irritating to cut with. The new one was sharp as hell and cut very swiftly with little to no effort. VidCon and Anime Expo 2016 roll in, and I gotta make my trip to LA. For some reason, I decided to pack my razor, possibly because my hair was getting a bit longer than what I like it to be. So VidCon happens, I had a blast, got to meet and hang out with my twin and the rest of the animation squad. And then it's like 2 days before Anime Expo, I kind of had a free day, so when I woke up and showered, I decided maybe I can trim my hair and tidy it up a bit. Now, ever since I started cutting my hair, I never really set up mirrors so that I'd be able to see the back of my head when cutting it. I've always just blind cut it and used my instincts. Trim a little bit here, feel it out, trim a little bit more. Okay, cool. That was my process for years, okay? And it just worked out. Except this time, apparently. I thought of it like any other self-trimming session. Did a bit off my bangs, a bit off the top, and then it came to do the back. Remember when I said the new razor was really sharp and easy to cut with? Well, I kind of underestimated its power level. Just a tiny little bit. It went Kaioken times 100 on my hair without me realizing it. I went slice? Oh, that looks like a lot of hair. What? Oh dear Lord. No, please, no. No, don't do this, no. Fuck. Do you guys happen to know how to fix or cut hair? Why? What happened? Oh my goodness! Okay, yeah, you need to go to a barber. So my friend takes me to his favorite barber, and he's like a Korean stylist. I get there and he hands me this magazine with like 1,000 popular Korean hairstyles. I look through it for like 20 minutes before putting it down and telling him, please just fix this. He says, okay, takes out the electric razor and just goes ham on my head. Pieces of hair raining down along with pieces of my soul. You know that comic where the dog's in a house fire and is like, this is fine? Yeah, that was me the entire time. I felt so naked afterwards. I haven't had hair this short since I was a teenager. It took me a while to get used to it, and I pretty much wore a hat for the next few days, but eventually I grew to like it, and it's been growing out kind of nicely. I know some of you are gonna be like, no Dom, we like the old hair, and think your opinion really matters and feel you have the power to affect how I prefer myself to look, but I don't know, maybe I'll stick with this cut for a while. You know who else has anime hair? Anime characters, duh! Sign up for a 30-day free trial of Crunchyroll Premium by going to crunchyroll.com/domics or by clicking on the link in the description. Here's what you get! Unlimited anime, manga, and drama titles, newest episodes as soon as 1 hour after airing in Japan, professionally accurate subtitled episodes, ad-free and in 1080p, and available on a majority of devices. Again, that's crunchyroll.com/domics for a free 30-day premium trial. Enjoy! Back when I was in college, I joined a pyramid scheme, which is a business structure revolving around the investment of recruitments who further recruit more participants whose commissions are often partially credited to the earlier recruiters. There are many variants of the pyramid scheme, but the typical outcome of its design is that those in the bottom levels generally do not find profit. Me. That's me, right there. They are illegal in many places, and so they will never admit to you that they are a pyramid scheme. They switch around a few business mechanics to get around the semantics of what defines a pyramid scheme, but they are a pyramid scheme nonetheless. I think it was a friend who one day invited me to join him for a job listing. I don't remember how he found out about it, but despite not having much luck in the part-time job hunts during that time, I wasn't really too interested at first. I didn't understand what the listing was for, but he mentioned that it didn't require prior experience or education. And here I was thinking, well, I have an education. Maybe they'll see that as an advantage and hire me. Ooh. Gah, so stupid. Keep in mind, I was naive to this sort of thing at the time and didn't understand the concept of pyramid schemes yet. I didn't get to watch this kind of video to warn you all about them. So we drive to this sketchy neighborhood I'm unfamiliar with and arrive at this unwelcoming building. And after knocking on what could have been both a front or back door, we were greeted by two people, which I assumed to be the employers. Later, I realized that recruiters was the more appropriate title. They quickly introduced themselves and we were then led into a room with maybe 3 or 4 other people. The room had a panel arrangement with a projector set for a PowerPoint presentation at the front. At the side was a snacks table, so you bet I partook in some of that free shit. Hey, whether or not I get hired tonight, I'm at least getting something out of it. Unless I get murdered. They started the presentation soon enough and began talking about their product, which was this premium organic instant coffee, and we were going to be responsible for selling it, which I thought should have been a relatively simple task, right? Many people open up their mornings with coffee to be able to survive a workday, or even start their evenings with one to prepare themselves for the long night of a deadline rush. It's the kind of product people could want at any time of the day. The presentation was relatively short and simple. They first talked about the benefits of being involved in this business, such as the ability to earn full-time income for part-time work, and how they reward BMWs to recruits who work hard and reach a certain quota of their own recruitments. I don't know what it is about these pyramid schemes, but for some reason they always offer a nice car that you realistically will not be able to earn. They also mention a lot of company vacations and benefits that you'll be able to indulge in, all for selling some coffee. And it all depends on how hard you want to work. And that's how they get you. They reel you in with an opportunity that seemingly anyone can be competent in, shower you with the potential for extravagant rewards, and challenge your pride of whether or not you have what it takes to make it big. Sure, there's some truth in that, but it's a real cop-out for the responsibility for you, their recruitments. They've got nothing to lose. If you make it big, well, hey, I guess they were right. I told you could do it. It's just like we said. I don't know why it's a southern accent. We're in Canada. But if you fail miserably, they leave you with the verdict that you've only got yourself to blame because you probably didn't work hard enough. Being a college student contemplating about his continued passion for architecture school, I was a perfect target for them. I was looking for ways out of my program, looking for other options, and they caught me slipping. They continue on with some bullshit health benefits of the coffee and how much more superior it is compared to your everyday Tim Hortons, as if this was supposed to give you eternal youth or something. Now don't get me wrong, they of course let us try some samples of the coffee, and not gonna lie, it kinda slapped. But you know, maybe drinking a product from strangers in a sketchy house should have called for more caution, because they could have been a cult for all I knew, and I probably just drank the ashes of one of their leaders so they could be reincarnated inside of me. I don't know. 10 years later, I'm still doing alright. In the middle of the presentation, they even had to preemptively defend themselves and said, "This is not a pyramid scheme." I mean, for them to have to include that in their presentation definitely meant people have accused them of being so in the past. Red flag missed. Gah, so stupid. After the presentation, I went up to one of them to have a bit of a chat, because when he introduced himself, he mentioned that he was previously an architect. Oh snap, hey, I'm in architecture school, what's up? I asked him about his experience with being an architect, where he studied, and what made him decide to leave that career path and choose this instead. I was given a pretty dismissive answer, as if he was trying to dodge the topic and only wanted to talk about the coffee and my interest in it. Oh, okay, maybe one of the buildings he designed fell and doesn't want to talk about it. Were you even an architect, you scheming son of a bitch? Okay, so here's how the scam works. You first have to buy the coffee inventory from your recruiter. They give us a choice between 3 levels of packages: the bronze, the silver, and the gold, each with varying amounts of the coffee and its different types. The bronze only gave you like 2 boxes, and this was meant for recruitments who aren't as willing to dive into the scheme, but are down to dip their feet. Low commitment, low risk. In the mind of a scammer, if they can't get someone to full commit, they could at least milk a few drops out of them. The silver gives you a bit more, and of course gold gives you the most, with a larger variety of flavors and decreased price per unit. They got me. That's a bargain. I'll take 10. We are then tasked with selling the product, of course, but we could also find our own recruitments who could sell the coffee for us. Huh? Now you're seeing a pattern here. But here's the thing, they didn't exactly tell us how much to sell the coffee for. We had to determine that ourselves. Alright, I guess that kinda makes sense. Selling low would be easier to sell for lower profit, and selling high might be more risky, but you earn more. Set your own stakes, I see. So I did a bit of math when I got home to try and determine my price and eventually settled on one I could manage. I first started with selling to a few friends and immediate family, trying it out with people I personally knew, and then slowly approached people in my architecture program because we'd all be at studio late at night. I could save them a walk to the coffee shop. This went on for a while, and eventually, after a bit of earnings, I was able to rent out a small unit downtown and open up my own coffee shop. It did really well, and I even got to recruit a nice bundle of people who first started off as frequent customers. Within months, I was finally rewarded with the fabled BMW that they promised us in the presentation. And with that car, I took a trip to a nearby park where a beautiful woman approached me and complimented how big my wallet was, and so I courted her, and now we live lavishly on our own island guarded by narwhals. No, I didn't sell jack shit. My mother and two of my friends bought a pack, and then I realized I had zero marketing skills because I was awkward when approaching people, and so I was stuck with an actual pyramid scheme of boxes of coffee that I couldn't sell, and the only consolation I had was that I at least liked drinking it because it did low-key slap, and now the only people who actually benefited from this were my recruit. Oh, that's how the scheme works. The presentation by the schemers really knew how to boost your ego and hyperbolize your potential to make it big. But really, they couldn't care less if you sold the coffee or not. We weren't really buying inventory from them, we were just buying. We were the customers, made to seem like investors were the people we invested in, had nothing to lose. And you can only imagine how many more layers of recruitments it goes up before them, with this scenario repeating itself over and over. Again, that's me, right there, at the bottom. With today's pandemic still heavily affecting many parts of the world and putting people out of jobs, you might be looking for alternative ways to make some money. And it's times like these that can make people really vulnerable and susceptible to these organizations. And while the one that finds you may not be selling coffee, hopefully you could sense the red flags and make better decisions, unlike me. These pyramid schemes are still around because they do still work to some extent, but it's heavily advertised that anyone can find personal success in them. Which is false. But hey, Narwhal Island Guard sounded pretty cool though, didn't it? Let's not beat around the bush, get the hell out of here. This video's been brought to you by NordVPN. Get 75% off a 3-year plan at nordvpn.com/Domics and use the code Domics for an extra free month. If English is not your native language, you may think it's difficult to learn. Well, as someone who grew up speaking English, let me just say, yes, you're absolutely right. English sucks. It's confusing, there are too many rules and too many exceptions. I before E except on Tuesdays and during full moons or something. The birth of my channel literally begins with a video of how I hate pronouncing the word rural. And now, I'm gonna complain about idioms. Idioms are a group of words established by a usage as having meaning not deducible from those of the individual words, blah blah blah. Basically, figures of speech, alright? Example, raining cats and dogs, meaning it's raining heavily, it's raining a lot, but it has nothing to do with cats and dogs. Who thought of this morbid metaphor? They could have chosen rocks, barrels, tires, anything else that was heavy and not alive. If someone told me it was raining tables and chairs outside, I'd be like, oh man, that's some heavy rain, I should probably stay inside. But if I found out cats and dogs were falling out of the sky, I'd be like, what the f*** are we waiting for, Jeremy? We gotta save them! Idioms help us express simple feelings in a more illustrated and colorful way. And yes, I did look into the origins of these sayings, but personally, some of them just don't make sense up front. Turn a blind eye, or refusing to acknowledge something which you know to be real. Pretend something didn't happen. Like when you catch your sibling trying to sneak out of the house after being grounded, and then they threaten you not to tell on them or else they'll punch you in your sleep. You turn a blind eye. Also, that's blackmail. Okay, I get the blind eye part, but why do you need to turn it? If you're already blind, you won't be able to see anyway, whether or not you're turned. That's redundant. Either turn or be blind. They both accomplish the same level of visual ignorance. If it was turn an eye blind, now that makes sense. It's just more morbid. Eat your heart out, to feel great sadness, often used as a taunt towards someone to encourage jealousy or regret. My goodness, another gruesome idiom. It's bad enough that I have to take my heart out to be able to eat it, but then I gotta eat it. This expression is often used with the name of someone famous as if to make them feel jealous of your accomplishment. Hey, what do you think of my painting? Wow, look at that. Eat your heart out, Michelangelo, am I right? I'm already dead. In a pickle, to be in a troublesome situation. Look, you could have picked a ditch, a well, a chimney, anything that could contain a body. But a pickle? Hey, I got your message. Ran as fast as I can. What's wrong? Just help me out, no questions asked. It's all downhill from here, used to signify that the situation will only get worse from that point on. But going downhill's the best part! Think of all the things and activities you do going downhill. Skiing, sledding, biking, hell, walking. None of these are fun going uphill. I guess in its defense, the idiom could mean being out of control while going downhill, but honestly, you could be out of control at any level of steepness. I've fallen up the stairs just as much as I've fallen down them. Tickled pink. To be delighted. Yo, Reggie, got anything good for your birthday? Yeah, actually, my parents finally got me a Switch. Wow, you must be tickled pink. Yeah, you're right, I guess it only works for white people. Wouldn't be caught or seen dead. Used to express the extent of which one would never be in something, particularly clothes, places, or situations. Which I don't understand, because when you're dead, you shouldn't be able to feel anything, let alone embarrassment. Ugh, Cindy, look at her top. I wouldn't be caught dead wearing something so ugly. Ugh.
Oh, don't worry. I'll make sure they don't find your body.
Happy as a clam, an exaggeration of happiness. The complete idiom is actually as happy as a clam at high tide, because that's when they're least likely to be attacked by predators, but many go with the shortened version in reference to how clams look like they're always smiling. Nope, I disagree. It's just the angle of which you're looking at them. If you look at them from this angle, it looks like they're frowning. And rightfully so, because I like clam chowder, and being delicious is not a compliment you should be smiling about. Goody two-shoes, used to refer to someone who always does everything right and follows the rules, to the point of annoyance. Often used negatively. Well, I did you guys a favor and read the story of Goody Two-Shoes to see why. Let me summarize it for you. Marjorie Meanwell and her brother were two homeless orphans. Marjorie grew up only wearing one shoe. One day they meet a rich gentleman who buys her new clothes and a new pair of shoes. She was so excited and grateful that she exclaimed it to everyone she met, earning her name Goody Two-Shoes. She believed the rich man was good and wise because of his great learning, and so she learned to read and helped teach all the children in the village to learn as well. She prevented a man from being robbed and murdered because she warned him after overhearing some men plotting about it. She saved numerous animals from being abused by people. She was so wise and good that some idiots accused her of being a witch and put her under trial. She proves everyone wrong and continued being the Goody Two-Shoes badass that she is. Why is this used to make fun of people? I strive to be a Goody Two-Shoes, and you should too. Piece of cake or pie. An easy or simple task. There's nothing simple about a cake. There's so many different ways to make a cake. I guess if you don't care how it tastes, baking a cake or pie can be simple. But if the quality doesn't matter, then you could easily just use any other food as the idiom. Wow, that cake looks amazing! Did you really make that? Yeah, it was a piece of steak. What? Eat your heart out, Duff Goldman. Is that a famous chef or baker? That's a no-brainer. Okay, man, I just wanted to know if you made it. And Bob's your uncle. Okay, weirdo. Hey, what are you doing? They already know NordVPN is sponsoring this. But if you're unfamiliar with NordVPN, it's a virtual private network service that helps protect your privacy and security online, ensuring you browse the net anonymously with no data logging using military-grade encryption.
With thousands of servers in over 61 countries, a lightweight user-friendly software, NordVPN lets you virtually be wherever you want in the world. Have more than one device, and no problemo! You can protect up to 6 devices at once. No way, you're pulling my leg! Yes, but I'm telling the truth, and hurry because this deal will end in early September. If you've been on the fence about it, now's the time to decide. The ball is in your court. Again, that's nordvpn.com/Domics with the code Domics for 75% off a 3-year plan plus an extra month for free. Enjoy the new school year. Good luck. I mean, you suck.
Insecurity is caused by characteristics we have that make us feel ugly, undesirable, envious, and can heavily affect our self-esteem and confidence towards others. There are plenty of things to be insecure about, but not enough reasons to justify them, in my opinion. We simply have things that make us different from the average. As someone who wasn't blessed with the blood of Adonis, I thought I'd share some of my insecurities, hopefully to give it less power over me and maybe give you the realization that it's not so bad feeling different. The first one is probably the obvious one. I am short. I've been short my entire life, and it wasn't until I was around 20 when I finally admitted to myself that my growth spurt would never come. I'm currently 5 feet 2 inches tall and have told people that I'm 5'3", with a mindset that I'm 5'2.5" with shoes on, so I might as well round up an inch. The problem with that is it doesn't matter in the eyes of taller people, because to them, anyone under 5'5" is automatically rounded down to the nearest foot, so I guess to anyone who asks, I am now 5 feet tall. Being short has always affected my self-esteem. Pants didn't feel like they matched my proportions, and men's shoes are rarely in my size, so I never really enjoyed shopping for clothes. I had to accept that fashion designers had to cater to an average that I didn't fit into, which, from a business perspective, makes total sense. Back to the kids section I go. Sometimes people got first world struggles, and one of mine is finding clothes that fit. I always found myself out of league with girls when it came to the dating game, because there's the false notion that all hetero women want a man who's at least a whole story taller than them. I think their reasoning was that they found it cute when they have to travel a flight of stairs to give their boyfriend a kiss, but with most of my exes and my current partner being taller than me, let me remind you to stop dropping this, my short kings. That's right, there's hope for you. Yes, it may seem unfair that the one you're interested in has a taste for colossal titans, but you can't get mad at people for having a type. For every girl that said ew upon reading your height on Tinder, there's probably just as many that said the same after seeing your picture. That's right, fellas, it has nothing to do with height, you're probably just unattractive, and that's actually very normal. Sometimes it just be like that. I've always felt disadvantaged when it came to sports because 95% of them make it so taller people have, well, the upper hand. Not all short guys can be Hinata from Haikyuu. Sometimes we're just short with the appropriate level of hops proportionate to our height. There are things I jump for every day that many of you simply reach for. Basketball was hard, volleyball was hard, and even though I liked track, it was hard seeing that some of my teammates literally needed half the strides I took to do a lap. But I still have fun with sports because there are definitely situations where being smaller has its moments. I have a flat nose, and no amount of daily pinching from my mom was enough to change that. Glasses always felt a little awkward to wear because it doesn't fit nicely on my nose bridge, so I'm glad the daily 15-hour exposure to screen monitors hasn't ruined my eyesight yet. I often had other kids call me pig-nosed while making oinking sounds, and while it felt condescending, at least it didn't extend past that and indicate an underlying appetite for human flesh. You know how much kids love bacon. On top of that, well, more like inside of that, there's my long nose hairs. Well, they're not draping out of my nostrils, but some do manage to peek out. I mean, as an adult, most people I interact with are taller than me, so they don't have the angle of exposure. But again, other kids like to point them out when I was younger. You know, I'm starting to feel like the root of most insecurities are just kids pointing out things about you that don't necessarily need to be brought up.
Hey, did you know you have long nose hairs?
Oh shit, okay, and? Is that attractive? Does it offend your religion? Are you envious of the fact that the air I inhale better filters out bacteria and lessens my risk from asthma? Well, in that case, thanks, I grow them myself. I've had deep eye bags ever since I was a kid, and it got no better through my years of school, and definitely worsened after discovering video games and getting my own laptop. People would always think I looked tired, and they were right. I was tired of people pointing out my big forehead, which is why my hair went from this to this. Because kids are observant assholes, but I eventually grew a liking to it anyway, so maybe I should be grateful to them. I also have really thin hair, and it's probably the reason why I don't cut my hair short anymore, because in doing so, looking at my head at certain angles make it appear as if I have bald spots. I already have eye bags making me feel old. I don't need simulated balding in my life right now. Not that there's anything wrong with being bald, I'm just in denial that I'm aging. I am definitely still in my 20s. 2020 never happened, therefore my 30th birthday never happened. I don't consider this one as bad, and I've actually grown to embrace them, but I have feminine fingernails. Or at least that's what people have pointed out. It was definitely just toxic masculinity that made me feel offended about it, but it doesn't bother me now. I am, however, still a little bothered about my knuckle hairs. Well, they're not really on my knuckles. What even is this part of the finger called? What is this part of the finger called? The proximal phalanx. Yeah, what's the point of hairs specifically just there? Why not the middle or distal phalanx? I'm not insecure about them, I just want answers. And finally, I am self-conscious about my perma-erect nipples. Am I allowed to talk about this? Is this flaggable? Any stalagmites in chat? They've been that way my whole life. It is why I avoid white t-shirts, because they're less visible with black and darker colored shirts. And even then, with the right lighting, or I guess the wrong lighting, they cast shadows and reveal themselves, which has probably contributed to my bad posture in the attempts to hide them. If you ever invite me to the beach or a pool party, I'm either staying out of the water with my shirt on, or I'm always iceberged, while I envy the guys with pepperoni toppings. Daddy, look, there's narwhals in the water. Oh son, those aren't narwhals. It's just a short, balding pig. There's a lot about ourselves we can feel insecure about, but I believe it's because we feel singled out, as if being different is a negative. Or you're probably in some toxic relationships where you get gaslit on the daily, but the reality is that there's so many of us alike. We're just as good at hiding those insecurities from people who are insecure about the same things. Besides the tallest person on earth, everyone is short to someone else. Flat-nosed people, probably less at risk of breaking them when face planting. Hard-nippled people, my ice cream coners, my needle-nose pliers, my bugle buddies, where you at? Hello? Team? Lag? This video is brought to you by Audible. Go to audible.com/Domics or text the promo code Domics, DOMICS, to 500 to get a free book and 30-day trial. Luck. What is luck? Luck is success or failure apparently brought by chance rather than through one's own actions. So luck can be either positive or negative. Then to be lucky means to have your outcomes governed by chance and not choice, right? Not exactly. Lucky is having, bringing, or resulting from good luck, the success half of luck. And the reverse, the failure half of luck, bad luck, is to be unlucky. Yeah, you follow? Me neither. I don't understand how this word's adjective form became some sort of yin and yang situation. Like, if you're hairy, then you possess lots of hair. Hair is a constant. There's no good hair or bad hair. And if you don't have hair, you're not unhairy, you're bald. To wish someone good luck is to express your wish for their success. Then why not just say, I wish you success? Because to wish luck on someone is to remind them the aspect of chance, a chance to fail or succeed. It's like if you were about to take your final exam and your friend went, hey, don't worry man, you're either gonna fail or pass this. Oh, thanks. I was hoping those were the only two possible outcomes. What else was gonna happen, Jim? Right before I finished the test, I'd grow a second nose out of my elbow and sneeze confetti out of it? Come on. Maybe if they were at a talent show and you went, hey man, you're ready for this. Good luck on flipping that coin. Thanks, I hope it lands on heads. Then I feel that would make more sense. A couple of months ago, I posted a picture of my food on Instagram. Shameless plug, om nom doms, hoi hoi. And someone commented, aw man, lucky. To which I thought, wait a minute, I did not obtain this dish out of luck. I did not stumble into this restaurant's front doors and food appeared in front of me without my influence. I chose to go to this restaurant. Shout out to Donburi and Markham. And I selected this specific item from the menu. Was it luck that caused the owners and chefs to put it on the menu? No, I'm sure they didn't go, oh whoops, I guess it's on the menu now. How fortunate of you. May I take your order? Actually, I got many comments that it was bad luck for me to leave my chopsticks in my rice, because in Japanese culture, sticking your chopsticks upright in your rice is how it's offered to the spirit of the dead at their deathbed or photograph. I don't mean to undermine Japanese culture, and I know that's just a glorified way to say, no offense, but I'm neither dead nor a photograph, and if a spirit was drooling over my spicy salmon don, I'd be more than happy to share because it's a lot of food and sometimes I can't finish on my own. I mean, I guess it was lucky that the restaurant was open at the time I was hungry. It was lucky that I didn't live too far from the restaurant. It was lucky that my parents chose the Toronto area to live in and raise me here. Then that means I was lucky that I was simply born, because I guess I can't be lucky to have been able to enjoy that dawn if I didn't exist. But I know that's not what they meant. The state of being lucky or fortunate isn't even consistent. It's dependent on perspective and who's saying it. Like, if Billy got sick and couldn't go to work, I'd be like, oh man, that's pretty unlucky. But to Billy, who just got a Nintendo Switch for Christmas, he gets to stay home and play games all day. But I guess he's still sick, and that's unfortunate, so actually it's both lucky and unlucky, depending on how much you weigh being able to play video games. I guess he could have just lied and pretended to be sick? I don't know, not the best example, but you get it, I hope. If we wish to believe we are in control of our lives and can mold our own paths, then why remind ourselves of the constant possibility of failing to achieve that? Sorry, I just finished watching Westworld and I've been having a lot of existential thoughts. Great show, I highly recommend you watch it if you don't mind some violence and nudity. Of course, there are some aspects of our lives that are out of our control and are up to chance, and that is what luck is, an outcome not determined by our own actions. But wishing someone good luck is kind of redundant because there are all sorts of possible outcomes in our lives caused by factors that we cannot control. If the roads are icy and my friend said, good luck driving home, I'd be like, thanks, but well, I'd still need that luck on a non-icy day as well, because there's always a chance some drunk asshole might T-bone me regardless of the road conditions. Even telling someone to be safe, it's a nice and endearing expression, but kinda unnecessary. I say to my loved ones, and I know it doesn't make sense. Of course you're gonna try and be safe to the best of your ability. The factors that put you in danger or cause you harm are most likely out of your control. Like, telling me to be safe on my flight is a nice gesture, but realistically, my safety is in the hands of the pilot and the weather, two entities that I do not have an influence on. So in those cases, good luck is actually what I need. So what we can agree upon is that our luck, our chances, are determined by another entity's success or failure. Someone fails to show up for their dinner reservation, therefore my party and I get to obtain their seats instead of waiting 20 more minutes. Lucky. Someone successfully purchases the last copy of that one game that I particularly wanted a hard copy of. Unlucky. Unless you've willingly involved yourself in a game of chance and RNG, luck is not a thing you want wished upon yourself. It's all skill, baby. Despite all this, I still say good luck to people. The dissected meaning of the word doesn't make sense to me, but I just don't have something else that's not as much of a mouthful as I wish you success. Maybe we can shorten it a bit. Much like how goodbye became a contraction of God be with ye as a form of salutation in parting. Okay, so let's see here. I wish you success. We can just take out the I. Wish you success. You success. You suck. You suck. I like it. So with the end of 2017 and the new upcoming year, my dear audience, you suck. This last Domics video of 2017 has been brought to you by Audible, the top provider of premium audiobooks. Build your library, listen as you please, the freedom is yours. Go to audible.com/Domics, link below, or text Domics to 500-500 for a free audiobook and 30-day trial. A few weeks ago, I finished Kevin Hart's I Can't Make This Up, and I found myself laughing both my butt cheeks off when I listened to it in the car. So I decided to also get Trevor Noah's Born a Crime and Aziz Ansari's Modern Romance. If you guys have any Audible favorites that you think I should check out, please let me know in the comments. You can listen to your audiobooks through the app, available on most devices, so it makes for good company not only at home, but especially during your commutes and travel. Once again, that's audible.com/Domics or text Domics to 500-500. 30-day trial, 1 free book, hours of entertainment. Enjoy, and hope you guys have a happy new year. I finally moved out last summer. Wait a minute, Dom, 2017, 2016, so you were 25 when you moved out? Yeah, I'm sorry I couldn't move out in college, okay? I was broke, my parents were like, "Ano, you want to move out? Huh? No, that's too expensive, you could just commute 2 hours both ways every day." What, every day? Yes, but that's like 4 hours every day. Every day. And yeah, they were right. On average, a decent apartment downtown was about $550 to $600 a month. A Go Bus monthly pass was about $80. I mean, yeah, I saved a couple $100 a month, but waking up at 5 a.m. just to make sure I'm in time for an 8 a.m. class that I fall asleep in because I only got 3 hours of rest, not really worth it in my opinion. And that is why you should try to make friends in college, because one of them is bound to have a place you can crash at when you have to build a 1 to 20 scale model of your architectural design and don't want to risk some random dude on the bus obliterating it because he didn't realize that his backpack was also a wrecking ball. Anyway, I left the nest. Pretty big milestone in my life. I really didn't have an emergency to move. I mean, some people really want their independence early, and some people want to save money by staying with their parents. Some people simply get kicked out. I won't judge. Living away can be pretty expensive. I was comfortable at home, but I knew I was capable of taking care of myself. I just thought it was finally time. My parents really pushed for not moving out and having to rent a place, but to just save up and put a good down payment to actually own one. And I'm pretty glad I saved up and waited. However, I think the move wasn't as dramatic as it should have been since my place is only like a 20-minute drive from my parents, but I still have my freedom. The actual move itself, though, was a pain. I like to think I didn't own that much, but you really don't know how much you actually have until you try to Tetris it into a U-Haul truck. The place I picked out is a pretty nice condo in the downtown area of my suburban city. I went through a good amount of listings before deciding because a lot didn't have the right room layout that I wanted, some didn't allow pets, some had an amazing view of the dumpsters in the alley. I know many people are pretty restricted when it comes to choosing a place, but this was my first owned home. I saved up. I'ma get what I want. The previous owner, we'll call him Dude What the Hell, renovated the place before selling it, so it pretty much looked like an IKEA model house. And I know this because when I went to IKEA to shop for furniture, I noticed some decorations and shelves that Dude What the Hell left behind when he moved out. But speaking of shelves, I don't think Dude What the Hell knew how to assemble and mount the shelves, or at least whoever he hired didn't. There was this shelf in the bedroom that I specifically asked Dude What the Hell to dismount before the closing date. It looked nice with the furniture he had, but I knew it wouldn't match mine. But when I moved in, what do I find? The damn shelf. I was already kind of annoyed by Dude What the Hell because he extended the closing date of the condo and was already late with moving out. So I just decided to make the best of it and just use the shelf until I decided to dismount it myself. One day I decided to put a paper flower basket on top of the shelf. And then, in the middle of the night while I was sleeping, I just hear this loud thud that woke me up in a slight panic. I find the basket and one of the shelf pieces on the floor. I was too tired to deal with it, so I went back to bed. Totally could have been a murderer that knocked it over, but Nala wasn't barking at anything, so I trusted that I was safe. The next day I tried to figure out why it fell. I discovered that the shelf piece wasn't even nailed or screwed onto the support piece that was attached to the wall. In fact, it was simply glued on, judging by the ripped paint and no screw holes. So I decided to press lightly on the other shelf piece that was still attached. Didn't stay that way very long. The piece became loose as well and eventually detached. So I was left with this support piece that just looked like a total eyesore. I decided screw this shelf, figuratively, I want it gone. I tried looking for screw holes to figure out how I could dismount this off the wall. I couldn't find any. Tried to pull the piece off the wall, and then I realized the whole thing was glued on. So I was left with this dumbass block of wood stuck on the wall because I didn't want to ruin the paint and drywall underneath it. A couple of days later, I go to IKEA to look for a desk, passed by the shelving area, and lo and behold, I discovered the same damn shelf that dude what the hell installed on the wall. Or should I say, the same 2 shelves. Apparently, the pieces that were assembled together don't even belong to the same build. The smaller pieces are meant to be hooked onto screws in a wall, and the big piece is supposed to be mounted onto a protruding bracket that inserts into it. Dude, what the hell? You'd think that the moment you took out the glue, you should have realized that something was off and that you have veered away from the instructions intended for the shelf. I got a hunch that they actually knew how it was meant to be done, but were just too lazy to drill. Because later on, I decided to mount a TV on the same wall in my room. And the wall is concrete. And I don't know if you guys ever tried drilling into concrete, but it can be really annoying. And yes, I used a hammer drill with a proper drill bit. So I think whoever mounted the shelf just couldn't be bothered with drilling and just decided to glue it on. Definitely can't do that with a TV. Nevertheless, I do like my place overall. Great view of the city, convenient distance to nearby shops, and my neighbors are great? No, that's a lie. My neighbors aren't the most desirable of people. One specifically has caused my roommates and I much trouble, but that's a story for another day. Might be a little bit inappropriate, but I'll tell you guys about it sometime. My neighbor's a prostitute. My advice is, you don't really have to rush trying to move out. Unless it's really toxic at home and you really need to get away from your family, or you murdered someone, or you have work or school obligations that would be more beneficial if you moved out. But if your parents will let you stay home, save your rent money. Enjoy the homemade cooking while you still can. Not gonna lie, this was really just to complain about the glued shelf. Hey guys, this video has been brought to you by Crunchyroll. Head over to crunchyroll.com/Domics, link in the description, to receive a free premium membership for 30 days. That's a lot of time for some marathons. What perks do you get with premium? Well, ad-free and 1080p episodes as soon as 1 hour after release in Japan, not to mention they are professionally subtitled for your authentic Japanese experience. And there is also a convenient app on nearly every device. I know we just watched the beginning of Boku no Hero Academia with Jack, that was a lot of fun, but the show is actually getting deep into season 2 right now. Plenty of time to catch up within those 30 days. Again, that's crunchyroll.com/Domics, link below. Enjoy! Thanks to Audible for sponsoring this video. Start listening with a 30-day Audible trial, giving you a free audiobook and unlimited Audible originals at audible.com/Domics or text Domics to 500 500.
Hi, I'm not Kresh. I'm an animator and mostly known from the stick figure community for Doors collaborations and stuff like that.
And I'm just Claire.
This is Claire.
Just Claire. I'm not Crush either.
You can eat anything for free. This includes like drinks too, but not water. But the more delicious it is, the more painful of a stomach ache you get afterwards.
My thing about this is like trying new foods would be really terrifying because it's a subjective thing, so you just don't know if it's gonna be good or not.
You're just hoping like,
Pray.
please taste.
Be
taste
mediocre.
it.
Try something and you're
mediocre.
like blown away at how good it is, and you're like, oh,
Like
fuck.
no, it's
It's gonna
come out
hit
later.
me in an hour.
And also like it just like appears, you know, like whatever like you want. It's like a 1 minute Uber delivered just like to your front door.
Honestly, I've had stomach problems all my life since I was a little kid, so I'm pretty much living in this universe already. Like, I'm either hungry or I'm in pain, and there's no in between. Like, I'm never just satisfied.
But now you
with
just get
food.
to eat for free.
So now I just get to eat for free.
But yeah, I guess the free food thing would be good with people with diet issues, I guess. Like, for example, if you're like allergic to avocados, but now that you do
Doesn't
this,
matter
you can
anymore.
eat avocados for free and just have like a stomach ache, not like die.
True.
You know?
This like you can't be allergic to things because it won't
Yeah,
kill
just-
you. You just get a stomach.
You just get a
ache.
stomach ache and that's it.
So then, like, can you get foods that don't technically exist or are like exotic? Like, if I wanted to eat human meat,
What's wrong with
just like just throwing that out
Why
there.
are we on?
That'll cost. That'll still cost something. Like someone still has to prepare it for you. Like,
So someone it has to be made, is what you're saying. It's not just like I couldn't just be like I want to eat dragon meat.
if it's real, yeah.
I think
get-
anything you can get.
I guess you could use this
physically.
power to find out if dragons are real.
I'm like I want to eat this guy I hate, and then what they're gonna like send an assassin cook.
This topic went a different direction than I intended it to be. John's using it for lethal purposes.
Oh no.
I gotta understand the scope.
Your friends would hate hanging out with you because you're getting food for free while they're still paying for it. And then they have to hear you complain about how much pain you're in an hour later. So there's just like nothing good about it.
Wow, I got free food.
What if like it has a really good starting taste and then the aftertaste is shit?
I'd say it probably averages out. Unless you want the pain to follow that, flow, that flow chart of deliciousness.
Okay.
Yeah.
The sad part is a lot of cheap stuff is what I find the most delicious.
It's not even by quantity, right? Like if I eat the most delicious pea in the world, I'll still get like a ton
What
of
did you
pain later.
wait, run that back.
Like this quantity of food doesn't affect it, right? So like if I were to
No,
eat
no, no.
just like
What'd you
the
say?
most delicious tiny meal,
Pea.
a
Like
pea.
a tiny pea.
Like
Oh,
a
pea.
Oh my god.
What you thought I said?
I thought you said if you drank pee.
No!
The irony being that if you drank pee, you'd be totally fine.
I know, I freaking Craigasm everywhere.
Like, oh, what the? Oh, I'm okay.
But I'm
You
okay.
can survive on a deserted island so easily.
No, even if you're in a deserted island, why would you get the free food delivered to you?
Oh, right. I forgot that I can just materialize any food ever.
Yeah, why would you resort to pee? You're like dying and like, someone please save me. I guess I gotta drink my
I
pee.
thought you told me an Uber driver had to show up. He just showed up like 30 seconds
He does,
later.
and then he leaves you in the
He
desert.
just shows up on the island and then leaves me there.
There you go, man. Don't forget to tip. All right, Pluto, you get a Tesla, but you have to take a year's worth of your shit in one day. And then you never have to shit for the rest of the year.
Well, is it like an uncomfortable poop, or is it coming out the way it's supposed to come out?
Like whatever you were supposed to poop for that year, it's all coming out
Oh my
for
god.
24 hours straight.
But it's one day.
Are we animating this?
Yeah. Let's say, I don't know, February 13th, that poop was watery, but like August 31st, like that poop wasn't. It just follows that
So it's just like
schedule.
Oh, yeah, I'll do it. I mean, I'll be miserable, but, you know,
But you'll have a Tesla.
I'll have a Tesla.
Exactly, you have to flush like
Oh no.
Okay, wait a minute. Hang on.
Like,
Oh,
is it
no.
full?
Oh, okay,
Toilet
wait. This is
break.
getting worse and worse.
Okay, well you don't have to do it on the toilet. You could go out in like the desert and just find an open field.
go
Be
out
like,
of the desert.
this spot, it looks good.
Oh god. You'd have to like keep moving.
Even then, yeah, a year's worth of poop, you're gonna have to walk, and then people are gonna find your like line of poop. Like, where does this go? What happened here?
Why are you walking while you're pooping? Why don't you just stay still?
Because if you stay still, eventually the poop's gonna pile up and you're gonna touch it, and I don't want to touch the poop.
You gotta find like a cliff.
That would work. So I really hope no one's down there. Oh my! It's so sad.
This is so gross.
They'll leave by the first drop. They're not gonna stay the whole time.
I still want it. I'll poop off a cliff for 24 hours for a Tesla.
Okay, but what if you have to do that every year? Like to keep the Tesla? Like
At this point, I'll just go get a job, Dom. Come on, man.
You're saying shitting's not a job?
He's making it a job. If I'm gonna have a job, I'd rather do something productive than just shit once a year for a
no,
Tesla.
but like whatever you get from your job, you could spend on other stuff while Tesla is covered by your poop service.
Imagine like falling in love with someone and then a year later you go up to them and then you're like, babe, I have to tell you something. This is gonna be kind
You're not
weird.
gonna see me for a day.
I know that, you know, one of the reasons you matched with me on Tinder that time is because you saw that picture of me in my Tesla. This is how I got it. I'm gonna need to
And this
take
is
the
how I'm
whole
gonna
day
have to-
and I'm gonna need you to just leave me alone.
24 hours.
Darling, what do you do for a living? It's like
I work once a day per
per
year.
year.
One time, once a year.
You could also sell the Tesla.
You were gonna say you can also sell the poop, and I was like, where are you going? Like, what are you talking about? If I sell it and I poop again next year, do I get another Tesla? That's broken.
That's literally salary.
Every
Is
year.
it?
Is it broken?
That's an exploit.
You're gonna be broken.
Where's the toilet?
There's no toilet that can contain. You think like it'd probably be like a room's worth, right? That
Someone
sounds like,
Google it.
That sounds like a year's worth of poop.
Google it.
Why do I have to
I
Google
don't
it?
know how heavy.
You're the
or
one with the question. You Google it.
how much.
I don't want that in my internet history. Alright, fine, I'll Google it. What was the question?
I knew
look
it
it up.
came.
If Kresh was here, he would look it up.
Study with an average daily amount of about 14 ounces or 400 grams, a total poop production in a week's time would be about 6 pounds, 2.8 kilograms.
In a year, a single person would yield about 320 pounds or 145 kilograms of poop.
That's like 2 people.
Just a little bit more than an adult panda weighs.
Okay.
That is now forever in my history. I'm never gonna delete that.
So I just poop out an adult panda once a year, and I'm chilling.
God.
Yeah, I'm sad that we're using panda in comparison to poop.
Yeah.
I mean, I'd take the food thing over the shitting thing. I just really want kanjang right now. If someone offered me a plate of kanjang, the best kanjang in the world, and a Tesla, ooh, I'm sorry, Musk. Ooh,
John.
my Korean blood.
Just get the Tesla, sell
Fire
the
on all
Tesla, and then
cylinders.
get the food.
It's okay. I'm happy for you, man. You can have the Tesla.
All right.
You can take your poop day. I'm gonna
Yeah.
enjoy some delicious food for the rest of my life,
And a bit of pain, but that's okay.
and a bit of pain.
I deal with that like once a month for an entire week. You know what? I think I can handle like a bit of pain like every day.
For food, yeah.
Shit
But then
out
now
of it.
you would get period cramps and stomach aches.
Maybe during my period cramps, I would eat something that is semi-mediocre. So instead of having the period cramps, I'll just have the
my God.
food pain, and
The
I'll be like
stress.
slightly less because I feel like period cramps are pretty painful and getting really bad ones.
What if you get whatever free food you want, but you have to poop that amount of food before receiving it?
Before receiving it?
So let's say the nuggets I got, before I get the nuggets for free, I'd have to head to the toilet and poop that amount that it would be as digested.
I mean, would
Yeah.
you even enjoy it at that point, though? Like, what you just did in the bathroom a couple minutes ago, and then you come back.
Yeah, you're like, oh, here comes my food. You know?
Yeah, you've emptied out, dude. You're ready.
Yeah. Are you eating soy sauce?
No.
You can't suck on that packet unless you like poop a little bit. You're not allowed. Just like a little deposit, you know.
I just keep coming back to like being with someone or like being on a date and like I don't
Hang
know.
on.
She's like here, try this ice cream, and you're just like, oh, just 1 second, and then you're like, all right, like let me have it.
Alright, give me that ice cream. I think I have to retitle this when we animate it.
What could you possibly name this? Like that's-
Baby panda free food.
I'm just gonna call it Panda.
No. No.
Would you shit a panda for a Tesla?
Quarantine life is the only life I know now. Hey, it sounds like you've got a lot of time on your hands. Why not listen to some audiobooks? With Audible, you guys can enjoy audiobooks anytime, anywhere. Literally, like even if you cancel your membership or maybe you're the last human on Earth and you still somehow have your device charged and have your audiobook saved, you can listen to them if you want. But let's say the world didn't end and you do stick around. You get 1 free audiobook and unlimited Audible originals every month. Today I recommend to you the complete book of 5 Rings, a profound view into a samurai's ideas on swordsmanship, strategy, and self-cultivation. But hey, feel free to check out the huge library of other audiobooks. Just head to audible.com/domics or text domics to 500 to start listening with a 30-day trial with a free audiobook and unlimited Audible originals. Enjoy! And then let me know when you're ready to clap.
I'm ready to clap.
Clap these cheeks. Okay, I have a question. Okay, so I hope she can't hear me because she's in the other room. So, she eats sandwiches weird.
Wait, was she eating poutine with chopsticks?
No. It's just okay. We're talking about sandwiches, and I'm like, I have a lot of bread, so I'm trying to eat a lot of sandwiches, and we're talking about peanut butter and jelly sandwiches. How do you make your PB&J? You basically have 1 slice of bread, put the jam, another slice, and you put the peanut butter, right?
Yeah, and they put it together.
Yeah.
Okay, and then you put it together, and then you eat it like that.
Yeah.
But the way
What do you mean? And you eat it like that?
She mixes it on the same slice, doesn't she?
no, the way she eats it is she eats it each slice 1 by 1.
What like?
So she eats the jelly half first.
That's not PB and J. That's P and then J.
Yeah, that's peanut butter and jelly.
Okay, But like, what if you take one bite from one and another from the other, like consecutively? Are you still eating a
No,
sandwich?
it's not the same. You're just eating two slices of bread separately with different flavors.
But when you're eating the assembled sandwich, aren't you also eating one at a time, depending on how quickly your teeth and mouth make contact?
Yeah, but you're not processing the flavor at that speed. Like,
Does she bite one and then while it's still in her mouth go over and bite the other one, or does she
No,
bite
no.
one, swallow it, and then bite the other one?
No, she finishes one whole slice.
no, it doesn't
Oh,
count.
like
man.
one whole slice first.
Okay,
It's not like she
but-
goes in between.
But the other one isn't even a sandwich because it's on one slice.
No, that's wrong. That's like saying if
Is
I
a sandwich still a sandwich if there's only one slice?
It's not a sandwich
no,
at that point.
that's you don't call butter toast
bread.
butter toast is not a
So
sandwich.
what is she eating?
She's just eating two slices of bread separately. Like, okay, let's put it this way. If you know how Coke and Mentos have a reaction, right? Like a chemical reaction?
I feel like this might be too extreme of a metaphor.
If I drink the Coke, swallow it, and let it sit, and then eat the Mentos separately, I don't think the reaction's gonna happen.
Okay, but there's no name for that dish.
What if she's eating it the true way, and we're the idiots?
No, that's wrong. Okay, you have a bowl of cereal, and then you have a glass of milk, and then you drink your glass of milk, and then you eat the bowl of cereal. You didn't really like have a cereal breakfast. You know what I mean? It's not,
Did you not?
It's two separate things.
Did you not?
It's two separate things at that point. You can't just say, "Oh, I had a bowl of cereal." You say, "I had a bowl of cereal and a glass of milk."
No, you just had cereal. That's it.
No, but then what about the milk?
It's all going in the same way. It's just the timing that's different.
What if it was orange juice? Is
Yeah.
it still just
Yeah,
cereal?
you ate cereal with orange juice. You're fucking weird.
But that timing is what makes or breaks that.
So what's the cooldown? What's the cooldown? Like, let's say you ate the cereal and then 10 minutes later you drank milk. Did you?
No, there is no cooldown. The milk has to be in the bowl before, like,
Has to make contact before it enters your mouth.
yeah, like it's gotta be mixed.
Okay.
Because there's a certain consistency that the
Okay.
cereal reaches once it's submerged in the milk.
All right, we're on the same page. Okay, what if the
Yeah.
the PB&J sandwich is assembled, but I eat it top down?
What do you mean top down? You mean
fine.
like the flat side? You eat the flat side?
Yeah.
Honestly, to me, that's still fine because you're eating it together.
Yeah, you ate it, but you're just fucking weird.
Yeah, it is weird, but at least you ate it. At least you ate it correctly. Like,
Correctly as in like pre-assembled.
yeah, like you're allowed to have opinions, but that friend is just wrong.
I'm still trying to process this because that's just weird. I've never heard anyone do that. Like sometimes I like to separate my food. You know, if I eat curry, sometimes I like to eat curry on one side and then the rice on the other side. That makes sense.
But then you mix some of it, right?
But then the point of a PB&J sandwich is that it's a sandwich.
Yeah, but when you eat ramen, it's only ramen because it's complete with like noodles and meat and whatever other ingredients, right? But you don't, unless you're Chica from Love Is War. And thanks to our sponsor today, you can watch this anime, Kaguya-sama Love is War, on Crunchyroll if you go to crunchyroll.com/domics and get yourself a free trial of premium for 14 days. But like you eat ramen, like you eat the noodles first, or like you eat the egg separately. Like you're not eating all the ingredients in the ramen at the same time for the whole meal, right?
But they're all mixed together. You get the flavors. You know, they mingled. Yeah, they got to know each
That's
other.
true. Yeah, they created their own flavor by all being in the broth, which then affects everything
Yeah,
else.
this is her sandwich etiquette is is like the alternate version of eating ramen before you put the water in and you have the soup on the side. Like it's just, that's sukemen. Yeah.
No, she has all the ingredients individually, and she's eating them one by one, and then they become ramen once they reach her stomach. Like,
So is she eating ramen or is her stomach eating ramen?
she's not gonna taste it the same, but technically the end result is the same.
So you consumed ramen. When is the end? As long as the ramen has been assembled before the end, then you ate ramen, right?
Hey, should I get Didus' opinion on the sandwich thing?
Yeah, ask him.
He's gotta do the intro first, though.
Squid neutral. Okay, Didus.
Yeah, what's up?
Do you like PB&J sandwiches?
I'd rather have something else.
Okay, that's not the point here.
Okay, let's say you have
One slice of bread that has the jam or jelly, and another slice that has the peanut butter, but you don't put it together. And you eat the jam one first, and then right after the peanut butter one.
Did you still eat a PB&J sandwich?
Oh, does it still count?
Yeah.
No, because it says and, right?
Huh?
It's PB and J. PB and J, dude.
Yeah, but you're eating it like right after the other.
Yeah, but that's like one at a time, not simultaneously.
Okay, let's say you put the sandwich together,
Okay.
but you eat it top down.
What do you mean top down?
Like you eat it lateral, not longitude. Like the way you'd eat a sandwich, just rotate it 90 degrees. So you're eating like the flat part, and you're working your way to the other side.
But still PB&J.
Yeah. So did you eat the PB&J sandwich, or did you eat a peanut butter sandwich and then a jelly sandwich?
But you said they're both together, like on top of each other, right?
Yeah.
Okay, as long as the peanut butter and the jelly
Have touched.
is both in your mouth at the same time, simultaneously, that's a PB&J sandwich.
Oh, at the same time you say, okay, so let's say, back to the disassembled one, let's say I took one bite from the jelly one and another bite from the peanut butter one, and they're both in my mouth. Both pieces are in my mouth.
No, okay, because that's separate. That's like pieces of bread, dude. That's not an actual sandwich. A sandwich is when you have like multiple layers.
But they both pieces are in your mouth.
Yeah, but it don't matter, dude, because it's not technically a sandwich.
Who wrote the laws?
It's not a sandwich,
No,
bro.
he's right, man. An item of food consisting of 2 pieces of bread with meat, cheese, or other filling between them, eaten as a light meal.
You can't. Okay, listen. You can't take a picture of both of the breads and then put it on Instagram and say this is a PB and jelly sandwich. Okay.
Well, it will be.
So when you put both of them together and then take a picture of it, you can say this is a PB&J sandwich.
No, the point isn't that whatever state it's in. The point is I'm trying to see if it is a sandwich after you ate it.
In your mouth.
Yeah, like they both end up in the same place.
No. Okay. Listen. Okay. You eat rice with meat. Okay.
Yeah.
You eat a piece of meat and then you eat a piece of rice. You don't call that meat rice. You don't call that a different item. You call that meat and rice. You don't call that rice, dude. You don't call that rice, bro. All right. You eating rice, bro?
All right, I'm done with
You
that.
want to eat rice? Yo, guys, I'm eating rice right now.
Exit
dude.
this man out of this conversation.
Get him out! Get out!
Are you the only one that's like advocating for this double
No,
whatever you're talking?
I eat it
what is-
normally. I'm just making conversation.
I don't want to hang with some weirdo that like eats PB&J separately.
another-
See, I told you!
Bro, tomorrow I'm just gonna eat some rice, dude. I'm gonna text you. I'm gonna be like, yo, I'm eating rice, bro. yo, I want to copyright that shit. Don't tell anyone. All right, is that it? Am I good?
Yeah.
Oh, that was fun. All right.
All right.
What-
Goodbye.
Okay.
Goodbye,
All right.
Titus. Goodbye forever.
Wait, so did you ever eat the sandwich the way she eats it?
I haven't tried.
You have to go get it right now and do it.
Well, I know what a jam sandwich and a peanut butter sandwich. I can't eat them apart because they don't. It's not balanced.
But does it taste different because you don't have the bread like in between it? Like, does she eat it face down or face up? Now I want to know.
Wait, why would she be face down?
No, like, does she eat like jam side on her tongue or like bread side on her tongue?
Why is her face on the ground?
No. Never mind.
Love is War is definitely on my top 10 funniest anime, up there with Nichijou and Asobi Asobase. But there's so many more to watch on Crunchyroll like Shield Hero, Dr. Stone, and Demon Slayer. Let me premium flex on you real quick. If you sign up, you get unlimited access to anime, manga, and drama titles. You get to watch the newest episodes an hour after it airs in Japan. All episodes are professionally subbed. You can watch it on pretty much every device, but not all at once unless you're a psychopath. And you can watch it all ad-free and in HD. I know a lot of you are nearing winter break from school and you're probably behind on anime. Well, catch up and weeb out by going to crunchyroll.com/domics or clicking the link in the description and flex your own premium with a 14-day free trial. Enjoy! This video is sponsored by Raycon. Get yourself some affordable premium earbuds by going to buyraycon.com/domics for 15% off. So let's say you ask for the job and you could pick whatever job you want, you get it, but you have to walk with your arms parallel to your feet from now on.
Forever?
Oh, actually, no, for a year.
For a year? Yeah. Yeah, I do it.
Like at all times or only on his way to work?
Any like forward, like walking and running, you have to.
Okay, what's the consequence if I don't though? Like,
you lose your job.
what the hell?
Like someone is watching you at all times, or I don't know, maybe you're wearing some kind of smartwatch that detects if you.
Okay, like what if I'm walking down the street and I'm walking the correct way, and then someone points a gun at me? Like, is that a clause for me to not?
What do you mean points a gun at you?
Like I'm just walking down the street, and then he pulls out a gun, he threatens me.
Walking which way? By correct way, you mean the regular way or the parallel?
No, the parallel way.
Well, that's the wrong way, but.
The correct way for this argument.
Okay.
Am I allowed to run normally, or do I have to die trying to run?
Well, if you run normally, you survive, you lose your job. So would you rather live or keep your job?
Well,
I mean, it's just a guy with a gun who's to say he has a good shot. You know, he could shoot you in the leg, and then you'll be paralyzed and you won't have to walk that way anymore.
Yeah, he might expect you to be running the real way, but then your arms will be the other way, so he'll miss trying to shoot you.
yeah, he calculates for the normal method, but that's what saves my
Yeah,
life.
he'll be so caught off guard.
This guy's weird.
I can't read him.
He's too distracted by my walking.
Or he sees it and he's like, "Oh, that guy must really want to keep his job. I shouldn't shoot him.
He's put in too much work to get here. I can't."
He's earned my begrudging respect."
Yeah, I do it. That's like, I need bigger stakes. Like me losing my job, I'm like, oh, I can just get another job. Like, what's the...
You lose your job and then they give you a bad reference to any future jobs.
Because I didn't.
Like, this guy can't follow instructions.
Because I couldn't walk a weird way. Yeah, I slipped somewhere, and I don't think I hit my head directly, but I hit like some part of my upper back or my neck or something. And then I went to the doctor because it actually did hurt. And then they were like, "You have a concussion," but I didn't hit my head.
Well, a concussion is just when your brain hits your skull.
Oh, okay.
So your neck probably like whipped back, and your brain was like, "Oh shit!"
Yeah, just part of me was like skeptical. I'm like, "Are you a real doctor?"
He looks at his clipboard. It's like a list of possibilities, and he chooses one, and he looks at your reaction. You have a concussion, and you're like, huh? Okay, not a concussion. You have a... He just changes his diagnosis.
Oh my god, actually the year before last year.
2018?
Yeah, 2018. Well, Hyun did like a big home-cooked meal for Pluto's birthday, which is a week before mine. And then it was like a big steak, and we all watched a movie and got together. And then on my birthday, we went to Denny's a week later. It was the saddest thing.
He's like, I need you to know you're not my favorite.
What if he just served the leftover steak from Pluto's birthday?
Even that would have been better than Denny's, honestly.
Do people not like Denny's? Because I like Denny's.
I like Denny's.
Well, not for my birthday, you know. I can go to Denny's anytime.
But Denny's is also like not really a casual meal for me because it's pretty heavy, in my opinion.
Yeah.
It's like an event. It's like you go for an event, but one that you don't care for. Never mind, I'm sorry.
You just made it worse. Rubbing salt in the wound.
You go for birthdays you don't care about. Yeah, I just try to be more, I guess, assertive, is it? Because, like, we were, I think last week or something, we went climbing, and we went to go eat after, but then Angela was at home. So I was like, hey, do you want us to get you any food from the restaurant we're at? And she's like, yeah, could you get me, like, this item? It was like an udon dish.
Yeah.
So I asked him, like, hey, can I order, whatever, my order, and then could I order this later for takeout? She's like, oh, sorry, we don't do that item for takeout. And I was like, oh, okay, then it's all right.
And you're like, no.
But then I thought about it. Yeah, I thought about it. I was like, wait, why is this not possible for takeout? I don't understand. So I called her back. I was like, could you explain to me like the reasoning? I tried to be polite about it. Like, is it because, you know, it's too hot and maybe it's not good for the styrofoam? And she's like, oh, it's just because like the quality isn't as good. And I was like, what if we're okay with that? And she like got caught off guard. It's like, oh shit,
no one's ever gotten this far.
He found the solution. So I was like, yeah, why don't I just order it to eat here, but then give me like a takeout box later.
Yeah.
And that's literally what I did. And I was like, oh, that wasn't so hard, was it?
But did Angela complain? Did she say it tasted fine?
I don't know. I actually didn't see her eat it later.
Maybe she didn't eat it. She's like, oh, this is gross.
So
this
bad.
quality is horrible.
Why would anyone get this to take? And it's like, that's why we have the policy.
No, I told her. I was like, oh, they don't do takeout. And she was like, oh, okay, then it's all right. And then that's when I was like, you know what? I'm gonna get your food.
Not today.
You ain't hungry today.
It's 2020. It's different now.
I went to What's Up the other day with my mom, and it was the worst experience I've ever had at What's Up. I was so like, I wanted to cry how sad I was in there. Like, you know when you walk in and we signed up on the Yelp thing, so they called us in like 10 minutes later. She pointed at the farthest table next to the bathroom and she's like, oh, for two over there. And my mom looked at it and then she stopped at another table for two, like a few seats away from what the bathroom was. And I was like, oh my god, that's not where she pointed, Mom, but whatever. So we sat down, and then she started looking at her menu, and then the lady came and she's like, oh, actually, I asked if you guys could sit by the bathroom, because we have a group of 4 that we have to put these tables together for. And then my mom looked up at her, and she was like, she just shook her head. I was like,
she's like, no. Yeah.
And then like the lady was so like I've never seen somebody like off guard like that.
I'm not.
Nani?
I'm not trained for this.
And I just like felt so ashamed. I looked down the whole time because I'm like a regular there, and I don't think she noticed it was me yet. So I ate with my hand up on my face the whole time we were there.
Why didn't you like explain to your mom then, or your mom was just set?
No, my mom looked at me after. She's like, "It's too close to the bathroom. I don't want to eat smelling like shit or something." I was just like, I know why you did it, but come on, that was so mean. Like I felt bad for the workers.
So did you see the other customers later that needed it?
Yeah, they had to. They waited longer. They sat next to the bathroom. They put them together on that
Split
table.
that party apart. You're the people we complain about.
So I've been using these earbuds for a while now, and I think it's pretty neat how this one kind of has a face on it, like with a nose, and then this one has an R on it, almost as if it stands for Raycon. That's right, this video is sponsored by Raycon. You guys should check out these earbuds. They go for like half the price of any other premium wireless earbuds on the market. Like that one earbud. You know the one that's not this color.
Hold up, down. Don't Raycons also come in white?
Wait, do they? Oh yeah, they do have white. And blue, and red. Ooh, rose gold. I got these a couple months ago actually, and I've been using them every time I travel. I like how small, compact, and discreet they are. And I'm sure you and your friends would agree. I've been going to LA a lot recently, flex, and those flights are about 5 hours each way, and the E25s last for 6 hours per charge, so it works out. You guys can get your own pair by heading to buyraycon.com/domics for 15% off your order. Enjoy!
Wait, Dom, weren't you supposed to say the Raycon link twice?
Wait, I didn't say go to buyraycon.com/domics to get 15% off your order twice? Damn it.
Alright, let's say you live in a condo, apartment complex, or some kind of home cluster that requires key access through a locked gate or door. You're inside and a stranger is at the door on the other side, waving at you, signaling you to open the door for them. Do you let them in? I freaking hate being in this situation. Every time I walk into my condo building and there's someone already in the vestibule trying to figure out how the buzzer works, probably for my prostitute neighbor, they see me come in and look at me like I'm their savior, expecting me to open the door for them. I guess I don't have much of a choice. I gotta get inside and I can't just open the door for myself and immediately close it behind me like, no, not you, only me. Well, technically there is a back entrance I could use, but that's on the opposite side of the building, and that feels like too much trouble just to avoid this situation. Or when I'm waiting for a pizza delivery in the lobby and an outsider pleads me to open the door as if they're escaping the plague outside. If I ignore them, I feel like an asshole. But if I open the door for them, I feel like I defeated the purpose of the security door. Well, I just let in a serial killer. I sure hope everyone locked their doors and aren't depending on these doors as their only line of defense. Thanks, loser. I'll kill you last. I just recently came back from a trip to California for VidCon and Anime Expo. I had a blast seeing old friends and meeting new ones. Even though I only got to see a lot of you briefly, do know that I enjoyed whatever time we had. Except for when we were outside. Like, what is this, California? You're broken. Go home. Every year for Anime Expo, I rent out an Airbnb with some friends for the duration of the convention, and this year we got ourselves this nice apartment suite in a gated complex. Unfortunately, at some point in the night, we ran out of toilet paper, and the Airbnb didn't have any extra rolls anywhere. It was like 3 AM and our drivers were too tired to go out and get some, and we didn't exactly feel safe walking out in the unknown neighborhood. Luckily, our friend Elle pointed out that there was a public bathroom on the first floor of the complex across from the gym. Nice. So Claire and I decided to head down for some toiletry shopping. Elle didn't really give us specific directions, so we had a little bit of trouble looking for the bathroom. During our search, we passed by the front gate, and a guy, probably in his early 20s, jogs up to the door in a slight panic.
Hey! Oh, thank goodness. Hi, could you guys let me in? I was having a party up at the rooftop with my friends, and I think I left my wallet by the jacuzzi. I just want to check if it's there.
Literally the situation I hate. Claire and I looked at each other in hesitation. I don't think we can. Sorry, man. We're just visitors here.
Please, could you just help me out? I checked my car, it's not there. I'm pretty sure I left it upstairs.
Look, I don't know this guy, I don't know this neighborhood, I am not a bouncer. It was 3 a.m. and neither Claire nor I would have the reflex to defend ourselves from this sketchy dude if he was dangerous. He ain't got no biscuit, I ain't risking it. But he did know about the rooftop patio area with the jacuzzi, so he wasn't totally making it up. It was too late to pull out my fake Chinese and Claire's real Chinese to pretend we couldn't understand and use that as an excuse to leave. It was late, I was tired, there was a rumbly in my tummy, and I just wanted to get some toilet paper. Thanks. And on a side note, we held a little barbecue get-together with some friends the previous night, and then I got contacted the next day by the host saying there were reports of our party members damaging property and vomiting over the balcony the previous night, and while I believed, to the extent of my knowledge, that they were false accusations, I didn't want to dig a deeper hole for me and my group by letting in a stranger to a private complex. The door's locked for a reason. Sorry, man. We can't.
Come on.
And we headed back upstairs, with an extreme lack of toilet paper. Do you think sketchbook paper would hurt? We couldn't find it. Also, there's a dude downstairs saying he forgot his wallet by the jacuzzi or something. We told Elle what happened, and he decided to escort us to the secret bathroom himself. But first, we headed to the rooftop patio to check for this wallet. We looked around the jacuzzi area. Nothing. We checked the rest of the patio area, and on one of the tables there was a pair of shoes, and inside one of them, a wallet.
Huh, I guess he was telling the truth.
Wait, check for an ID, then we'll ask him for his name, assuming he's still down there.
Felipe Gonzalez.
We left the wallet where it was, and headed back down. He was still there. Hey.
Please, I really need my wallet.
Alright, so we did see one up there, but I don't think we can let you in still. Any chance your friend can get it for you?
No, they're asleep now. We drank a lot. I tried calling them, but they're already passed out.
Hold on. What's your name, by the way?
Chris.
Who the fuck? That's definitely not how you pronounce Felipe.
Oh, yeah, that's my other friend. He was with us too. Please, just let me in. I can go check for myself.
Call us overly cautious, but he just progressively became more suspicious. He said he left the wallet by the jacuzzi. The only wallet we found was neither by the jacuzzi nor belonged to a Chris. He told us his friends were in room 208, so we went up and tried knocking on their door. And no one answered. I guess if they were blackout drunk, that made sense, but then again, it was 3:30 at this point, and most people would be unconscious anyway. We even went back to go check the rooftop patio again for a more thorough search, but still nothing. He had an excuse, but we weren't really in a position to be good Samaritans. Well, actually, I guess to be a good Samaritan means you help no matter the situation. Okay, maybe we were just normal Samaritans. Normal people. I don't know, whatever. I just wanted to wipe my ass, okay? We were in unfamiliar territory. Elle even mentioned later that he noticed gang markings on nearby walls and stop signs around the complex. For all we know, this guy could have been the one who threw up over the balcony the other night. We got the toilet paper, but we didn't let him in. I'm sorry, Chris. I'm not calling you a gangster necessarily, but you had an unlucky night. He did, however, have his car and phone. If he did drink with his buddies, it was probably best that he didn't drive that night anyway. I don't know, call an Uber, pick up your wallet in the morning. I don't know if we made the right decision, but I felt it was the safe decision. Plus, what if he also knew about the secret bathroom and wanted to take the toilet paper for himself, huh? Nuh-uh, dude. Natural selection. This video has been brought to you by Audible, the largest selection of audiobooks on the planet. Head over to audible.com/Domics, link below, or text the code DOMICS to 500-500 for a 30-day trial and a free audiobook. And right now, Amazon Prime members can sign up and get the first 3 months of Audible for only the price of one. But hurry, cause this offer ends on July 31st. Audible members get a credit every month, which they can spend on any audiobook, regardless of the price. Audiobooks are a great sidekick for summer activities like hiking, sunbathing, and road tripping, allowing you to binge on content you love while doing the things you love. Feel free to pick out any audiobook you'd like with my code, and that book is yours to keep. I had a lot of fun being able to speak with Phil DeFranco, Ben and John of the Super Carlin Bros, and Brianna about Florida, an audiobook we chose to listen to and discuss on an old-fashioned book club. If you haven't already, you can check out how that went on the Philly D channel. I'm sorry, I was really awkward and nervous, but I had a blast. I'll leave a link to that in the description. Once again, that's audible.com/Domics or text Domics to 500 500 for a 30-day trial and a free audiobook. Enjoy!
Hey.
So like almost everyone during the pandemic, I've been playing a lot of video games. That's a lie, I would have been playing games regardless. And lately, I've been playing a lot of Valorant. Shooting people in the face, woo! Just a quick tutorial, Valorant is a team-based first-person hero shooter. Oh, they call it a hero shooter? Is that why my random teammates think they can just camp a corner and after we all die, they can be a hero and somehow 1v5 all the time? Anyway, you and your team of 5 heroes, or as they call them, agents, each with their own set of special abilities, including the ability to shoot their gun and help a teammate, must work together against the other team to either attack or defend the respective sites. Attackers plant a bomb, if it go boom, they win. If they fail to plant, or if the defenders defuse it, they lose. Teams switch sides after round 12, and first to 13 wins. Simple. I'm kidding, this game's hard as fuck. In this game, I'm playing as Sova with my friends Elboy and Sticky on the map Breeze. Our other 2 teammates are randos. Okay, enjoy the game.
Oh, it's A, dude, it's A. Oh, they're all inside. Dang, his path was weird.
Oh god, I tabbed out. My cat! No. How does she perfectly press? Oh, because I was crouching and she pressed tab. There's 2 moves. Oh, thank god he didn't trade. His teammate just watched him die.
Oh my gosh, they got mowed down.
Jet! Just ran back into that boom bot.
Oh, wow. That's nasty.
Shit. Oh god, this is a one way.
Yeah. They see you.
Yeah, they see me.
Oh, nice, nice.
No time.
What a good dart. No.
Oh god, LTP. Oh. I did not set it up.
Whoa, your legs are decapitated on the screen.
Wait, what?
Oh wait, no, they're my legs.
Okay. Don't even know your own legs.
Yeah.
Dude, look at this sage.
God, dude.
What's he doing?
He's just like... He's
He's
air caressing him. This is like freaking TF2, like
So
heavy and
funny.
heavy and medic.
It's a farmer seat.
Well, Jet's trying, dude.
Get in there, Jet. Get in there.
The sage is
Get in.
insane. Oh my god.
Oh.
Oh. Dude, where's your Jet? No.
One enemy remaining.
Wowee.
What's another death?
Please, 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 please.
Very close.
Clutch.
Oh my god.
It was very close.
It's me.
Look at me. I'm wall raised.
Oh, he's in the pocket. Oh, he left the pocket. He's in the pocket.
Shot down.
He's chilling there.
No, he's not.
Fire in the hole.
No more proposals.
That's so funny, dude. From Sage's perspective, dude, that was pretty funny. Dude, she's just watching you guys. You look like little ants just dancing around.
Is this as far as your TP can go?
No. I just want to play here.
That's just one bait corner to another bait corner.
Yeah, I don't think that's a good spot.
Let's go out. Ride him up.
Last player standing. One enemy remaining.
I think I'll use my credit card.
Spike down B. A.
Oh my. Let's go. Let's go, Sticky.
Last player standing.
Hey, good.
Don't look at me. Don't look at me.
Slowly getting lower.
Dude, he got full armor, okay? That's not my fault.
Took like 7 shots. A nest. Boom, boom. Boom. Holy shit. Let's go!
2 more. Yoking me.
Yoking?
They give someone a gun?
Is that Spanish joking?
I'll find them.
Yeah. Two on side, two on side, two on side, two on side, two on side.
Okay.
Revealing
Pick
area.
double doors.
There they are. I have the spike.
Yeah, elbow.
Oh, I'm blind.
Soul blind.
They are so blind. What?
No, he's dead. He's dead. He's dead.
Alright,
Oh, now he's dead.
he's still on site. His body.
One enemy remaining.
Spike planted.
Dude, now he said okay. Literally like 2 seconds after I said it. God.
Now he's dead.
I guess I'm wrong. 2 seconds ago.
Yeah. God, the guns are so much bigger when it's on the ground. Holy.
I have the spike. Reloading.
Oh, I missed.
Scanning ahead.
my way.
She's in there. Oh no.
One enemy remaining.
Oh, we're a molly.
How much damage did you do?
Well, I was 5 HP. I'm not stepping into the molly.
Oh, I didn't get it.
I'm not tired.
What? You need what? Oh, really?
Look at this guy.
Wait, just get this orb here.
He's gonna walk around this fight.
He said, just get this orb here. Oh my god. He's not even gonna watch me get it. He's gonna let me die and I won't.
Yeah. I'll watch you die. Hold up. Let me get front row seats for this.
Revealing area.
Dang it, they didn't peek.
There's 2 on site. Die! Thank you.
He ulted, right? So...
There should be another one on site. Was that her?
Last player standing. Spike down A. Defenders win.
Nice try, guys.
Wait, who was that?
What was that? The Sage talk, dude.
What did they say?
They talked.
Nice try, guys.
Really?
I
Exactly
hear
like
it.
that. Yeah, it's so weird.
I gotta listen to the play.
So weird.
Nice try, guys.
Hope you guys enjoyed this video. I know it's much different than my past ones. I wanted to try something different. So please let me know if you vibe with it. I know you can't see dislikes anymore, but I still can, so give me feedback. Or you can harass me on Twitter. Either way, Merry Christmas to those applicable, and hope you guys have a Happy New Year. Bye. Today's sponsor is Crunchyroll. Get an ad-free trial of Premium for 14 days at crunchyroll.com/Domics or click the link in the description.
When you go to most conventions, there is usually different levels of admission you can buy to be able to attend. You got your regular badges for when you want a vanilla experience, you got your VIP and industry badges when you want to see special events or want priority entry, and you got guest badges for when you're part of the special events. But there exists a badge that grants you, usually, all of those privileges combined. The Media Badge. With this all-powerful magical badge, you get to experience nearly everything the convention has to offer for free, as long as you meet the necessary qualifications with the agreement that you must create and publish media based on said experiences. So every year, except this one, because everything is cancelled due to that virus going around, stupidity, my friends and I attend this one anime convention as a sort of yearly reunion. You guys might know about it. Last year I heard it took over 5 hours to just get inside the building because of how long the line was. Well, every year we apply for that golden ticket, the media badge, sometimes known as the press badge. And not gonna lie, the main perk I wanted it for was being able to cut the line and not have to wait in 100-degree Fahrenheit weather. I made a video a while back about how easily I sweat. Some of you know my pain. I cannot last out there. My usual plan with the media badge is to vlog my experiences at the convention according to my specific interests. And not only can you cut the line to ensure you have great seats for viewing events like concerts and panels, but you also gain access to the upper floors of the convention. And what's there, you ask? Well, clean washrooms with no lines, proper air conditioning because of less occupancy, and the lounge room, where you can find refreshments and comfy seats. And we all know how hard it is to find seating at big conventions. That one Anime Convention 2016, Day 1. I think that was around the time I messed up cutting my own hair, which was also red at the time, so my hair's gonna be red in this video. After entering the building of the con, my friends and I headed straight to the lounge room to check it out, so we know where to meet if anyone gets separated, because sometimes electronic communication isn't very reliable in such density of people, so you kinda need a dedicated spot to reconvene. Okay, so we're upstairs, walking down the hall, about to enter the lounge, talking about who we want to visit in the artist alley first, when we get cut off by this guy. Hey, you guys, you're media, right? I'm Dylan, head of media. Yes. Hello. Hey, what's up? Alright, so I'm in a bit of a bind. I'm about to have Miss Kurabayashi and Miss Ishida in the other room for an interview, but we're low on interviewers. Could you guys jump in there and ask some questions? I'm sorry, who? I mean, we were a media team, but we were neither equipped to interview anyone, nor were familiar with the people we were supposed to interview. No offense. It would feel disingenuous to do so. I don't think we can. We don't really have anything ready. Listen, I'm gonna be real with you guys. You're only here because of me, so I'd really appreciate it if you can do this. Alright? You know when someone asks you a request, but it doesn't feel like you get a choice with the answer? I mean, I get it, they were invited guests, and it would be embarrassing on both ends for them to enter an almost empty room.
Yeah,
sure.
I guess we could
Okay,
do
you got it.
Yeah.
No problem. Cool, awesome, great. They'll be ready in 5 minutes. Alright? See you guys there? 5 minutes? Alright, do you guys have any idea who they are? No. Okay, I searched them up. They're both singers, and I think they've also done some voice acting roles. I was not familiar with their work, but I guess it didn't really matter. We just had to come up with some generic questions, and hopefully it'll be enough. Hopefully there'll be other people there more prepared for the interview. Hopefully. Interview time. There were maybe 3 or 4 other people in there, each geared up like a journalist. Camera, mic, etc. And then you got us goons with our scrap piece of pad paper containing our 5 minutes of collective brainstorming. Let's fucking go. So we get on with the interview, and it actually went pretty well. And you know what? We were the ones who asked the most questions and sparked pretty engaging conversations with them. Well, with the translator anyway. And honestly, Crush kinda carried us. Who were your role models or influences when you were first getting into the industry? Growing up, did you always know you wanted to be voice actors or singers? Or did you realize it later on? When you first performed in America, did you expect the kind of response from your audience, considering it was a different country? How did your friends and family respond to your ambition to become a singer or voice actress? After you voice a character for a series, are you excited to watch the episodes you are involved in? Is there any advice you'd give your younger self when first starting your career? In this industry, your voice is your instrument. Do you have any tips for taking care of your voice? And then it was over. We took pictures, thanked them for their time, and headed out. Alright, so Artist Alley, for real this time?
Yeah, let's go. And again, Dylan cuts us off. Hey guys, just want to say thanks so much for helping me out back there. I owe you a solid. If there's anything you need, let me know. Yeah, no problem,
Yeah, it was
man.
actually pretty fun.
You're welcome. And that's how you justify media badge. So we went on with our plans, going through Artist Alley, where Media Badge really grants you no advantages, so it pretty much took up our whole day. Yes, Artist Alley was that big, and if I remember correctly, that might have been the year they moved Artist Alley to the downstairs hall, and the air conditioning wasn't working. Yeah, it was a grimy weekend for artists. That one Anime Convention 2016, Day 2. We were trying to plan out what we wanted to do and figured, hey, we're like professional interviewers now, right? You guys wanna, I don't know, interview Toshio Ishizaki, aka Sushio, aka the animator god himself? You might recognize his work from Evangelion, Kill la Kill, Little Witch Academia, and Promare, to name a few. My friends and I were all animators, and he was the one guy we were excited to meet and interview. Unfortunately, when we tried to RSVP for the interview weeks beforehand, it filled up instantly. But hey, maybe we can, pull some strings, you know? Remember Dylan from yesterday? Remember how he's like the, I don't know, head of the media team? Remember him saying if there's anything we need, we let him know? Well, it's time to cash in that solid, baby.
But sadly, we discovered that Dylan was not as omnipotent as we thought, and the selection of solids he could owe us was not unconditional.
Yeah, sorry guys, no can do. Anyway, I gotta head out now. Gotta take my parents to some adult show. Bye. Well, rip my nips, we tried. Legend has it we are still owed a solid to this day. We don't know what happened to Dylan. He was no longer the head of media in the following years. I mean, I guess he didn't exactly owe us. In the cycle of debts, he provided us with the media badges, and we helped him with the interview. I guess we were even. Despite not being able to interview Sushio, he also had a panel with the rest of the Kisniver team later that day, because the anime had just recently premiered, so we wanted to attend that as consolation. We checked out the line, and as we expected, it was like a light year long. No way in hell are we getting in. Is what we would say if we didn't have media badges. Ayy. That panel was enjoyable. They handed out animation frames, we got to see Sushio topless, I don't remember why, whatever, it was hype. Now, you're probably thinking I'm just a privileged freeloader for using my public status to qualify for a media badge so I could cut lines and attend cool events that other people have to earn by waiting in line for. With all the time I spend not going out, it's given me a lot of time to watch anime, more specifically on Crunchyroll. With a premium account, you get unlimited anime, manga, and drama titles. You get new episodes an hour after airing in Japan that are professionally subbed, ad-free, and in HD. The app is available on pretty much every device, so you can watch wherever you're comfy. I myself have been on that One Piece grind, but if you want to check out other hot titles this season, there's God of High School, Fire Force Season 2, and ReZero Season 2, which Jack and I did a watch-along of earlier this week. Thanks to those who joined us. We only watched the first 2 episodes, but I'm continuing on, eager for those weekly releases. And you too can catch up by signing up. Again, that's crunchyroll.com/Domics for a 2-week trial of premium. Link below and enjoy. Hello, this video has been brought to you by NordVPN. Use the code Domics at nordvpn.com/Domics for 66% off a 2-year plan. That accent has nothing to do with the rest of the video. While I was growing up, my family did a lot of moving. I was born in the Philippines,
Moved to Saudi Arabia, then back to Philippines, then to Canada and several locations within Ontario, then to Virginia, USA, then
back to Canada. And because we did a lot of moving, I've had a lot of experience with being the new kid at school. I sometimes had the solidarity of my sisters whenever we became the new kids, but of course we were different ages in different classes, and one of us usually made new friends sooner than the other. I never went to school in the Philippines, but I did go to a Filipino school in Saudi Arabia. That's weird, I know, but it's true, and that's why I was confused as a kid and thought Saudi Arabia was just another very hot and somehow dry part of the Philippines. I was a new student, yes, but so was everyone else because it was our first time in a school environment. The biggest change that I've experienced must have been when we moved to Canada. We didn't have any family that lived here, only a few friends that thankfully helped us settle in. I didn't know English too well and had a girthy accent. I was only 7 but was aware enough to know that I was different from my classmates, who were predominantly white. I got my fair share of Asian prejudice growing up, and I didn't really know how to make friends. But somehow I did, and they just so happened to have the same birthday as me. Not only that, but also because we shared so many interests. Video games, Transformers, Power Rangers. I felt so relieved that, coming from the other side of the world, being an outsider, I found things in common with strangers, and I no longer felt wary about being in a new country. Today, I'm able to maintain friendships with people around the world thanks to modern technology, but back then, moving a few cities away pretty much meant you were never gonna see your friends ever again. And after living a year in Hamilton, I had to say goodbye. I then moved to Mississauga, which was an hour away. I was in grade 3, and while I was nervous about making new friends again, I soon realized that not everyone really had their friend groups established yet. There were actually a few other new kids as well. I didn't seem to have that much trouble befriending other kids because during recess, people would often set up games like tag or foot hockey, and they'd invite pretty much anyone available to play. And within that group of random kids, I got really close to a few, one being my rival and best friend at the time, Michael. He was not only my nakama, but also my role model. I really respected him and his chill, humorous personality. I wanted to be like him. That's probably when I really started wanting to be a funny person. I honestly thought that I'd stay at that school until I graduated, but near the end of grade 5, my parents told us some news that we were all too familiar with. This time, we were only moving somewhere else within the city, but it still felt like 1,000 miles to a kid. I kept in touch with some friends for a while, but we eventually grew apart. The move was kinda odd for me and my siblings. It happened a little more than a month into grade 6, so I had to say goodbye to everyone at the beginning of the year instead of the end. I almost felt like a plot device in an anime where a new kid transfers into a class in the middle of the year. You guys remember the story of Alvin and how that turned out, but actually when I first moved there, the teacher appointed one of the students to show me around and help me feel welcomed. They belonged more with the jocks group and asked me to play football with them during recess. I didn't want to be alone, but it was then that I realized you can't be friends with just anyone. And that was okay. They weren't necessarily bad people, I just didn't feel like I really clicked with any of them. Actually, one of them was kind of a dickhead and bullied me every now and then, but I got through it. And so I searched for friends elsewhere. I needed to be around the nerds. And it didn't take long to find them. I like to think my past moves have helped me befriend people quicker, especially with Michael's outgoing influence on me. The school was then split in grade 8, where some of us moved to another school and some of us stayed, depending on what side of the road you lived on. We all then became new kids in the newly built school, so it wasn't really a problem because everyone knew everyone. Going into high school was the same, where a lot of the friend groups were pretty much already established and just carried over from grade 8. The high school was made up of graduates from 3 elementary schools, and I was able to befriend people from there as well. I felt pretty comfortable where I was. After so many occasions of being the new kid, I was finally a long-term resident. So, when we moved to Virginia in 2006, after I've invested the past 8 years in Mississauga, 5 being in the newer area that I moved to, I had to throw it all away and I felt like all my progress was reset. Kinda like dying in lava in Minecraft. Although I would miss my friends, I was kind of excited to see what it would be like to move to a new country again. Excited to see what kind of new people I would meet. Excited to be exposed to new cultures. But it proved to be a little more difficult than I expected. Everyone already had their friend groups. I didn't feel like I really fit in anywhere. A few people did try to make me feel welcome, namely one girl who sat beside me in AP US History. She was nice, but personally I don't think we really connected that well, but despite that, she developed a crush on me, which I couldn't reciprocate, and it felt awkward to continue that acquaintanceship. She was a nice person, okay? I didn't hate her, but I just didn't think we'd be close friends. And say what you will about not giving her a chance or staying friends, but understand that by that time, I've gone through enough friendships and met enough strangers to know who I got along with. I tried to join some clubs, namely the anime club, to see what kind of people shared my interests. And,
Anime Club, every single Wednesday at room North 135.
Garugamesh! Everyone in my year seemed to already have their lives figured out. They had their academics in line, they knew what colleges they wanted to go to, they were applying for scholarships, while I was just worried about making friends and fitting in. And I pretty much spent most of 11th grade worrying about that. I really missed Canada. I guess that was what led me to depend on the internet and online games to meet new friends and maintain old ones from back home. But eventually I thought it wasn't healthy for me to just be cooped up at home all the time. I thought I might as well embrace the new environment and make the best of it. I kept looking behind me instead of facing forward. After some time, I broke out of my timid shell and tried to be more outgoing, especially in my senior year where I got into breakdancing and really started making lasting friendships. You guys already know about that story. Before I even graduated, I was already informed that we were going to move back to Canada, and so I applied to schools there. I was accepted by and attended Ryerson University, and it kind of felt like going to school for the first time as a kid again. Everyone was a new kid who came from all sorts of places around the city, around the country, and around the world. Luckily, one of my high school friends from St. Marcellinus also got into the same program as I did, so we stuck by each other through the hells of architecture along with new friends that we met along the way. Although it seemed like the end of the world as a kid every time I had to move, I'm thankful for those experiences because it helped me build my social skills with people and prepared me for a world full of strangers and how unpredictable life can be. You never really know who you'll become friends with, especially not at first glance. Sometimes it takes a simple interaction over a similar interest. I befriended David in high school because he asked to borrow a scientific calculator, which we then started using to pass notes to each other. Michael started off as my enemy rival because we both sought to be the best in our talent. Alvin started off as an asshole and stayed that way for the duration that I knew him. But for all the friendships I've made, I understand that I would have never seen those kinds of relationships if I kept my doors closed. Whether you like it or not, change will come to you. Whether it patiently waits for you to invite them in, or if it kicks down your door and demands a beverage, it's up to you on how you would like to treat them. It's best to embrace it because they are there to teach you lessons, some of which might be easy and simple, and some which could be difficult and painful. I see new starts to be very refreshing. I see them as opportunities to do things differently, or even do things the same but with new people and new environments, which can still yield unique experiences. Chapters in our lives will eventually come to an end, and we must accept that it's time to turn the page and continue to the next. I want to thank NordVPN for being a frequent sponsor of the channel. It really supports the growing team that helps improve the animation quality you see here. If you guys still think I do all these by myself, I'm flattered, but you crazy. Anyway, surf the web with peace of mind using my code Domics at nordvpn.com/Domics for 66% off a 2-year plan. Virtual private networks are a great way to protect your privacy and security online, allowing you to browse the net anonymously with absolutely no data logging using military-grade encryption. They have thousands of servers in over 60 countries, the software itself is lightweight and has a user-friendly interface, and you can virtually be wherever you want to be without actually being there. Even if you're not traveling, you can never be too safe when connecting to public networks. Your privacy deserves to be protected. And it's not limited to desktops and laptops, but open to mobile devices as well, of which you can protect up to 6 at once. Boot it up, choose where you want to be, and you're there in mere seconds. Honestly, you don't even need to choose. If you hit this button right here, you'll be automatically connected to the nearest server. So simple, so easy. But if you're still not sure about it, try it out with money back guaranteed before 30 days. Once again, that's nordvpn.com/Domics with the code Domics for 66% off a 2-year plan. Enjoy! Thanks to Raycon for sponsoring this video. Get 15% off your order of the everyday E25s at buyraycon.com/Domics. Link below. Did we ever talk about the zipline one?
What?
So basically, if you ever want to go anywhere, you have to zipline to that. Let's say I want to go from like my room to the kitchen. I get teleported magically to a height, and then I have to zipline to my destination.
Does it take longer than just walking there?
You know, whatever terminal speed is at that height or whatever, that's the speed.
What's waiting for me at the bottom? Do I just hit the ground?
No, you don't take damage. You have infinite stamina when you're holding the handle zipline.
I see no problems here, but I am a little afraid of heights, so...
Also, you have to be conscious. So if you want to go to like Disney World or something, like a flight is probably 5 hours, but I don't think it'll be a 5-hour zip line.
Oh my god. No.
You can't like drive anymore. You can't scoot. You can't run. You got zip line.
This just sounds like a huge inconvenience. Like there's no positive to this.
It's free transportation. You know, you could avoid traffic. You go to a grocery store.
But I gotta wait longer.
I think me ziplining to Walmart would be much faster than me driving. Like from my chair right now, I just get teleported up.
Could you ever travel? Like, could you go to Japan? Or do you have to do Japan?
It'll just probably take a day of ziplining. I don't even know the height it takes for me to zipline to Japan, but you know.
But you gotta be conscious the whole time. That's the thing.
Yeah, if I change my mind, do I just go back upwards or?
Nah, man, this is too much.
Well, if you change your mind halfway, you have to have another destination in mind. You can't just, unless you want to drop in like the middle of the Atlantic.
No, it's not worth it.
Free transport though.
Yeah. Also, if you have like cargo, you could carry as much cargo as you want, even a car.
Oh my god.
But it doesn't matter because you can't drive the car.
Yeah, you can.
It's not like I'm going anywhere these days anyway, so.
Okay, what if this eliminated your fear of heights?
Ooh. Actually, yeah, I hate my fear of heights. Like, I get like a physical pain in my body when I see heights.
Yeah, but the speeds you would hit on a zipline are gonna be...
I didn't do the calculations, but, you know, it's fast.
It's gonna take a long time.
It's faster than a boat, for sure.
It's free.
Traveling is great at that point, but then every other minor short distance is, like, super inconvenient.
Like, once you get to France... It's like, oh my god, the ride to France was so free and convenient. And then, like, anything you want to do in France, you're like, oh, I want to go to that hot dog stand right next to me. I gotta fly up 25 feet real quick.
I could make a lot of money if I could carry as much as I want.
Yeah, you could have an import-export business, but you can only transfer things one at a time.
Anything?
Like any cargo.
I can I can carry a plane.
But why would you? All those passengers would be like, we could move much faster if we just flew.
Right,
instead
but
of...
I can offer a lower price.
So you're like a ski... What do you call those things?
A ski lift?
Reverse ski lift.
International ski lift.
International ski lift.
What is the ideal height that you'd like to be?
What, you mean like off the ground or just standing?
What?
Wait, what do you mean height? Like how tall I am or just
how tall you are.
As a person. Not floating.
Okay, we're just talking about ziplining from the moon. I wasn't sure what we meant.
Not related to ziplining.
I would like to be shorter.
I'm pretty chill with 5'9". No, I think I'd want to be like 5'7", because I feel so lanky.
Well, this is regardless of your physique.
If I had like the nice body physique, I want to be like Chris Hemsworth.
You have an 8-pack, you got your buff.
Oh, hell yeah, 6'2", let's go.
And Chris, you want to be 5'10"?
Yeah.
Okay, let's just say 6 feet is the ideal height. Okay, would you rather be... would you rather be 4 feet tall, but be able to double your jump? Oh, sorry, double your height and jump? Or be 6 feet, but you can't jump vertically?
I can't jump at all.
You got no vertical jump.
Both of that's embarrassing.
Actually, you could be pretty sick in a lot of sports.
Mm-hmm. But you're 4 feet tall. I mean, like, no offense to my short kings, but I know the feel. I can speak for my fellow brethren.
If you're 4 feet and you could jump 8 feet, that'd be super hype. But if you're 6 foot tall and your wife was like, hey, can you reach that at the top shelf? And you're like, I can't. I am incapable.
What do you mean 6 feet people can reach things?
No,
like
but I mean, like,
shelf?
if it was just outside, like, I had to be jumping range to grab something. Or you're playing basketball and they're like, dunk it! It's like, I can't. You're so tall!
You don't understand.
You can't, yeah, all your shots have to be grounded.
Yeah, there's just very limited situations in where I would jump, so I'm okay with...
I jump every day. I gotta jump to take off my towel from my towel rack hanging on the door.
What, really?
Shut the fuck up.
No, I'm not dissing you, I'm just saying because The towel already hangs, right? So
Yeah, but it's hanging, so you gotta lift it higher than where it's hanging for it to unhook.
Oh, it's like a hook. I thought you were talking about on a bar. I'm like, no, just pull it.
damn, I've been so conceited and cynical about my own problems as a tall person. I failed to see my privilege. I didn't check myself. I'm sorry.
Yeah, when I was in Canada, like every other day, they'd be like, "Hey, John, can you reach the trash bags for us?" I'm just like, "Yeah, this is my privilege. I have to take responsibility."
All this power.
All right, so you could visit people's dreams.
Oh hell yeah!
But you're naked.
Yeah, it's fine. They're in a dream. They won't remember.
Yeah, they probably won't even remember, so I'm okay with that.
Are you kidding? I would remember something like that.
But they won't think it's weird at the time. They'll think it's weird when they wake up.
Yeah, it'll be dream-esque. It suits the place.
You don't think anything's weird in your dreams. You're just like, oh my god, is that an upside down, hairless, 5 foot tall cat? Whatever.
No, I'm okay with those things. Yeah, I would be naked in someone else's dream.
Do I have to go into the dream blindly, or do I have like a Netflix setup where it's like, ooh, I'm scrolling through this guy. Ooh, that looks interesting. I want to go to his dream.
Whoever's phone number you have, you could just select them.
Do I get a synopsis or a genre? It's like, oh, he's having a nightmare. I don't want to go in that right now.
Yeah.
What
are you thinking?
But I'm naked.
I'm fine with it. I get to experience a lot of cool stuff.
But then what if every one of our friends had such boring dreams and now all your friends know what you look like naked and you didn't get anything out of it?
Yeah, hold on, wait, do I have control of stuff in the dream? Like if I go into that dream realm and I'm like, you know what? I want a race car, or I want...
You're just a visitor. Otherwise, that's just your dream. You could be naked in your dream if you want.
No, I'd still do it, because some people do have cool dreams, and I wish I had those dreams, so I would still want to experience.
You just watching a movie at that point, though.
Yeah, and that's not what I'm saying. I'm saying, okay, let's say he dreams he's a demon slayer. Now I get to be a demon slayer because I'm with that person.
You don't know that. You're just naked, dude. unless they, manifest you to be a demon slayer. Otherwise, you're just some naked dude.
Damn, this sucks.
You're just an NPC.
I take it back. I don't want to have this power.
Also, like, even if you become a demon slayer along with them, you're still naked. You may have a sword, but you're still naked. You don't look cool. You're gonna do a thunderclap, like, naked.
Thunderclap and Flash.
Booty clap and Flash.
No, you know what? I will still, I take back what I said. I don't want that power. It's lame.
The deal breaker was that you gotta be a naked demon slayer? That's what?
No, it's not that. It's that I don't get to necessarily do what they're doing. It's just, I'm just there. So I get to watch, but...
Well, it's up to them. Like,
you can ask. Hey, can I have a sword?
I just imagine myself in that situation, and if someone showed up in my dream naked and asked me to do the thing that I was doing, I'd probably say no, so...
I'm telling you right now, I would visit all of you.
I don't want you to visit, stay out of my dream.
I would visit you tonight.
I don't want to see...
Hey, let's race, or I'll hop in your car while you're racing.
No!
Hey, dude, these seats are kind of nice.
All about concentration. You think I could focus like that?
Crash is having a nice motorcycle dream. Don's like, ooh, can I ride on the back?
I would die. Oh my god, stop.
Tell me that wasn't the last thing you had planned. Tell me the naked dreams wasn't the last thing.
Please say psych.
Hey, you looking for some earphones?
Yeah, actually.
Looking for something small, compact, and long-lasting?
Yeah, how did you know I was
Maybe something half the price of other premium wireless earbuds on the market?
Yes, all of that sounds good. Do you have it?
No, I was hoping you would.
Hey, you two sound like you're looking for earbuds.
Yeah?
Yes? Well then check out the Everyday E25s by Raycon. It is literally exactly what I just overheard from your conversation just now. Fits in the palm of your hand, very discreet looking, and grants you over 6 hours of playback. Perfect for working from home, working out, and listening to music and podcasts. And it comes in a variety of colors.
Whoa, that is exactly what I was looking for.
Is there some kind of useful link I could go to so I can get my own? Of course, at buyraycon.com/domics, you can get 15% off your order. Or click the link in the description. That doesn't make sense for you two because you're not watching the video.